We thank Doctor for that. I've said it before he spoke. And I'm very sure everybody here will testify to the fact. Okay. Thank you very much, Arais. We will have you very shortly, inshallah, again. So it's a very good interview. Thank you very much. We appreciate Doctor for that wonderful speech, but we still have several lectures ahead. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to increase you in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. If you know you want to like, you want to have the like of him, just say Ameen, let me hear you. Let's say Muhammadu Rosulullah. I said you say Muhammadu Rosulullah, or Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it's almost the same thing. Now at first let me introduce some of our lecturers who have just come in. Ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce to you, or shall I introduce to you, Dr. Abdurrahman Muhammadu Awwal. Dr. Abdurrahman Muhammadu Awwal, the National Amir Nadwat Worldwide. PhD, I'm very sorry, because I knew the other time that I did this kind of mistake before my Sheikh Abbas. I said Dr. Abbas, I wrote DR with dot. He said no. Mention my name, just say Abbas, Tunde Abdulaziz, write PhD in the front of my name, so that I will be able to differentiate between the two. Abdurrahman Muhammadu Awwal, PhD. You're welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me as well to introduce Fadila to Sheikh. Doctor is in the name already, but it is inside. For those who have, so, who can reflect. Sheikh Al-Imam Al-Fadil Sheikh Abdul Razak Waliullah Afakallah, the CEO of Al-Mumbins International. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed, it is good that we appreciate good efforts. You know, the fruits of this program today is that we have the magazines with us and we take it home. Look at all the wonderful presentations that we have had so far. If we don't do this very briefly, it will be as if we are just here. We don't have the copy of the program, so in totality. Permit me, ladies and gentlemen, in a very few minutes, sir, يشرفني أن أحدد لكم الوقت. يشرفني أن أحدد لكم الوقت بذكر طائفة من الأشخاص الذين يدشنون. Everybody say Amin. Let's say Amin now. Yes, I just prayed for you. We welcome as well Barrister Sayyida Hamdallah Bello, all the way from Manchester United. So welcome. Thank you very much for coming. Bismillah.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I've been wondering why this garden is so quiet like this. We are not just as quiet as this, even on Facebook. Whenever we are discussing something about our noble prophet, I know the existing member of one of Sweden will be talking something. If you are all here, let me hear you something. Wave our hands like this. Anyway, we haven't introduced ourselves, and maybe it is due to the fact that some of the existing members of this honorable platform are a little bit late to the fact that we have commenced the program before the arrival of the majority of our people. But I believe it is due to our, you are not used to Nigeria road, I know. So, Kabirullah. Even my barrister that just came in now, I told her day before yesterday when we were trying to put things together, like she asked, Sheikh, when should I set up for the program? I said that please put at least 2 hours to your journey, so that when you talk into Lagos traffic, you will you will understand that you are now in Nigeria, not in Manchester. So I understand the fact that she's a wonderful woman, alhamdulillah, and I appreciate her coming too. God bless you, man. MashaAllah. I have spoken before the arrival of my members. So, and you go back to our internet mosque. Muhammadu Rosulullah. In the magazine, yes, it's there, alhamdulillah. I appreciate my Sheikh Muhammad Sa'id Simani, the multi-talented doctor. Wallahi, I appreciate you so much, sir. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to be with you. And Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar, Dr. Abdul Ghaffar has delivered his lecture before your arrival as well. You can have it in the magazine. Then, Sheikh Dr. Honorable Abdulakim Abdulatif Honorable Yepe. He has also delivered his lecture. So now we go for a salat break, which will last us 5 to 10 minutes. So when we come back, we will do brief introduction. So our existing member will introduce themselves from table 1, table 2. Let us know where you are coming from. Are you just a new member or you have been here before? But I'm very sure on every table that I've seen. Our mom has for make us have lunch chicken and ever be well to me there. Anyway, we have spent a lot of money in the course of organizing this program. Some people will I paid 50,000 before I could get my seat into this conference. Yes, but I will tell you categorically now that out of let me say 25% of we in the hall that paid that amount of money. So you can imagine us organizing this wonderful program. At times I was, if it is in my can, let me use that. Where is Mashallah. If it is in my can, I would have thrown the gate open for every member to come in free to enjoy Muhammad. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm enjoying myself. If you are enjoying yourself, let me say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But honestly, I'm extremely happy that I said I have available, reliable, and intellectual lecturers, speakers that know more about Rasulullah than I do. And Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar put me right on that. And Sheikh Dr. Simei, I want to endorse your team. So after we try to organize the program, we try to put up all the write-ups of our speakers into this magazine. Maulana Sheikh Abrahman, Dr. Abrahman Muhammad Al-Awwal, Amir of Amirs, MashaAllah. The write-up is here too. So Imam Marishekola said we should launch it before we go for Salat. But I told you, I know Muslim very well. We accept Rosulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when it comes to its generosity, not every one of us practices as Rasulullah does, inshallah. Now, I don't know where to call me, because if I should call on somebody that you like, I should say, but you know I pay for this seat. But I think if something like this could be existing among we Muslims, at least we are going in a very high place, inshallah. Okay, you can call me Imam Arjikola.
I think your people understand you. They understand you very well. So you can always call on this way around the line.
Anyway. The total cost of the magazine is 510,000 naira. Kabirullah. So to cut the long story short, Tiabani just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. We have done already. Are you recording? a níbi tá a wà yìí àwọn ẹ̀ka ni wọ́n sún mi láti jẹ ẹ̀ta ìjẹrin wọ́n sì mọ iye tí wọ́n san ní òwúrọ̀ alẹ́ ọjọ́ yìí. Anyway, I will call upon tí màá ti ní pẹ́ ní kankan máa pín Alhaji Murtada Muhammadu Jami. Masha Allah.
Takbir.
Masha Allah. To come and launch the program for us. It came all the way from London. Masha Allah. From day one. Anyway, every table. Maybe I'm going to do that. Masha Allah. Masha Allah. Barakallah fi. That is Sheikh Waliola, Sheikh Al-Amir. Masha Allah. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. Anyway, the magazine, Masha Allah. Takbir. Takbir. Alhaji Murtada Muhammadu Jami from London. We launch our magazine with a sum of 100,000 naira. Shall we go to money? It's just in what's the problem? Mashallah, Mama, Mashallah. I am only a kind of my inshallah. Anyway, Chairman Al-Huda Al-Butaria International Prayer Mission. Mashallah. Abi? Yeah, getting this now. So, Rais Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Alhamdulillah, I know how constrained my sheikh is to put this forward for launching because he's conscious of the, other commitments on our people. But inshallah, I implore every one of us to kindly support this project. We want to sustain it. We want to really sustain it. And inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to be with every one of us, continue to replenish all the source of spendings and be with us in the world. I will launch a copy of this with 50,000 naira.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I respect Sheikh more and more again today, simply because he's so compassionate to all of Sunday. He doesn't want to overburden you by calling on everyone here. Please, can we have just 2 women that will display the righteousness of Prophet to represent others, saying, I will launch this magazine. I need 2. Just to be fine. Walaikum salam.
All the way from America.
All the way from America. California. She says she loves the book for 50,000 naira. Kabirullah. Thank you very much. May Allah take you back to California safely. Mashallah. Who else, please? Who else? Okay, Adia, please come over. Okay, we'll sit. Emma, come over, please. I know you love Muhammad to the extent of you can even give the Prophet 200,000. Maybe that war you have in mind before. You can give it to 100. Okay, Kabirullah. She said she will not give it to 20,000 naira. Thank you very much. It's okay. If you continue that, Alaja might you know, she might even say she wants to launch it 500,000 now. Mount the podium, please. Alaja Biola Raji, where is she? Okay.
From London.
From London, Masha. Alaja Omawumi Shakira Owojori. She said 50,000 naira. Kabirullah. This is moving. It's moving properly. Okay? So it shows we love for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who else? Alaja Biola Raji, where is she? Oh, she happened to be the first person. Ahead, Ayoka Oman Nabi. Ayoka Oman Nabi.
From America.
All the way from America. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She says she's going to launch it to 50,000 naira. Kabirullah. Kabirullah for her. Thank you very much. Thank you. I can see the display of the love of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I can see that. I can see that. I'm going to surprise you people here today, because I'm also going to launch. I'll challenge virtually all the scholars here. Muhammadu. Bismillah. We are very sorry. We apologize to our speakers. We are very sorry we had to do this. We are very, very sorry, sir. Very, very sorry, sir. My doctor. You're singing, I don't know what. I will launch it with 1 million. Okay, idea. 50,000 naira. Allah. There is one idea with women. They love doing the same thing. 50,000 naira, thank you, we appreciate that. As well, please, I think they will be transferring the something. Let them do the transfer, so give them the accounts. Okay, no problem about that. Okay, thank you. Muhammadu. Aya Halima. Or Jedira, where is she? Aya Halima or Jedira. Muhammadu al-Khaliki. After they have paid 50,000 naira for the seats, they are still launching. May Allah reward you. May Allah reward you. Ajira, my mind tells me something that you're going to add something to that 50,000 like in the future. I need more dating my dog. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alaja Alima Ojeji said 50,000 naira. But we see how people seated here on the table. Alaja Mopelola Alao, where is he?
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful, I will not take much time because I too have a limited time, because I've been here since almost 11 o'clock. So the money I'm going to do or recite now will not be 2 or 3 minutes by the grace of God. May Allah accept it as praise for the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. مصطفى الله من جميع البرايا مجتباه حبيبه القرشيا أشرقت شمس فضله فرا كل ما لم يكن قبيئا قويا فعلي يا ربي صل صلاة تجمع الفضل لا تقدر شايا kí yí sí èdè ọ̀dọ̀ mi kí n bá lè tètè fi kí àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n wà ń gàlẹ̀. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n jẹ́ aṣojú ìmáàmù ti Èkó kọ́lọ́mọ́sẹ̀ bá wà pẹ̀lú yín àti àwọn àfáà mi tó yẹ pé wọ́n ṣe ọlọ́wọ́n bò jẹ́ ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ sọ pẹ̀lú ọlá tó yẹ pé wọ́n dùn látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run àti tí látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run kan tó wá rí èrè láti ọ̀dọ̀ Ànábì wa Muhammad àwọn náà ní Sheikh Saheed Tìmẹ́yìn kọ́lọ́mọ́sẹ̀ járe yín pẹ́. Mo tó wá rí àfáà mi Mudiru Nadwa ṣe pé bóyá ẹni mú mi mọ̀kan náà bí kan náà kí Ọlọ́run wọlé ẹ̀ Ànábì Muhammad ọba tó ṣe iná síwájú ọlọ́mọ padà sí ilé rẹ̀ ilẹ̀ hamam insha Allah ìjọta gbéraní nádùn Ọlọ́run òní yóò dàrú. Mú kí àwọn àfáà mi àṣẹ tọ́lọ́mọsẹ̀ bá wà pẹ̀lú yín. Wọ́n wá kí sísítà mi láti bí láti gbé wá lọ́hùn ní ìlú UK Manchester ọlọ́mọ yóò bàjẹ́. Ànábì náà ní gbé wá kí Muhammadu Rasulullah. Wọ́n ti Muhammadu Rasulullah ní kí ìwé ẹ̀ kọ́ wá gbé Allahumma ya Rabbi salli ala Muhammad. Allahumma ya Rabbi salli ala Muhammad wa sayyidi sa'adati nabiyyi Muhammad. Udifutu ilayhi faturimuna biurimati. Udifuna ilayhi faturimuna biurimati. Alauna biyani jausayi rifuata imati. Ladunki lafina kuntu khayra ummati. Dolilina ladi tatawa biliramati. فلا خوف من خيفي ولا عد من عزي. اللهم يا ربي وسيد سعادات النبي محمد وسيد سعادات النبي محمد شفيع الوراء والكل بالعوف يعود إلى الله يسعى في الجميع ويافد. أتعرفه ذاك النبي محمد. الجميع أتعرفه ذاك النبي محمد. خطيب لرسولullah في العشر سيد تتيه به الدنيا وأخرى وبرزا. اللهم يا ربي صل على محمد وسيد سعادات النبي على فتدان الخالق دون ارتفاع. فما نجم إلا واكه أن يفائي. فأمام من استعصى فنابه بصوي. سبعتهم قد ألفت باتباعي. وجمع رسول الله هداية. Ẹgbẹ́ mi wo èèyàn lọ́sàlá tó pé èso bá tẹ ọmọ kọ́dé olè fàtìmí ti báyìí. Wọ̀jà mú Rasulullah ìdáyà. Ìgbìmọ̀ bọ̀dé sí ìyẹn èso bá tẹ ọmọ kọ́dé olè fàtìmí ti báyìí. Wọ̀jà mú Rasulullah ìdáyà tẹ̀jà. Allahumma ya Rabbi salli ala وسيد سعادات نبي محمد وسيد سعادات نبي محمد. سبحانك رب العزة عما يصفون بصفتي وأتم الله جلاله الله جل جلاله من قبل وجود العالم قد كان نبوة آمد نور قديم سابق هدت لنبي محمد سبحانك رب العزة عما يصفون بصفته وأتم الله جلاله الله جل جلاله. On behalf of Al-Huda, Muhammadu Rasulullah, let's recite with dua for Imam Mukhtar Ahmad. May Allah continue to bless him, and may Allah continue to guide him, and all his subordinates. May Allah let you live long by the grace of God. So let's recite with dua. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. والدعاء والإنسان سجد ما وعدك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يؤتيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فارغ. Can you say Surah Al-Fatiha for me too? May Allah continue to be with me. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله.
Jazakumullah khairan. We thank our brother for all the food, the eulogy of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now it is time to at least have a kind of blessing from the Imam of Lagos. A kind of very brief blessing from the Imam of Lagos. The representative is taking his leave now. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm here to represent the Grand Chief Imam of Lagos State, in person of Sheikh Muhammad Sulaiman Oluwatoyi Abu Nala Adamallahu Ayatahu. The Grand Chief Imam asked me to apologize for the organizers of this occasion and the entire member of Al-Huda is supposed to be here personally, but due to many circumstances, that is why it's not here, but it's here spiritually. Before I leave, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned Muhammad in 4 places in the Holy Quran. He said, Man kana Muhammadu wa ma Muhammadu ala Muhammadi Muhammadu Rasulullah. I was using the opportunity to use that verses to pray for Al-Huda. You love Muhammad. One scholar says, Isama shita fi daraini tas'ati fakassir bis-salati ala Muhammad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Laqad sadaqa Allahu rasulahu ru'ya bil haqq. La tadkhuluna al-masjid al-haram insha Allah aminin muhallikina rusakum ومقاصرين لا تخافون فعلم ما لم تعلم فجعل من دون ذلك فتحا قريبا. هو الذي ارسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على دين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله والذين معه اشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم تراهم ركعا سجدا يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانا سيماهم في وجوههم من أثر السجود ذلك مثلهم في التوراة ومثلهم في الإنجيل كالزرع أخرج شطأه فأزره فاستغلظ فاستوى على ذوقه يجيب السراء ليغيظ بهم الكفار وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات منهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم gbogbo àwọn táwa láti ìlú Manchester àwọn láti London America pléènì wa ò ní jẹ́ o àwọn náà táwa Nàìjíríà ní ogun accidenti o àníwúdà ọlọ́wọ́ wọ́n yẹ ẹgbẹ́ náà ọlọ́wọ́ máa gbé yín gá o ọlá bismillahir rahmanir rahim Allahu nuru samawati wal ardi مثل نوره كمشقات فيها مصباح والمصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كان كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́ṣọ́ra wa ọlọ́run ọba jọ jẹ́ kí mọ̀ náà máa lẹ́kùn sí gbogbo àwọn tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ kọjá ọlọ́run ọba jọ àlékún mọ̀ bá ṣe fún wọn àwọn tó máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n látọ̀rí Dr. Sheikh Abdulrahman Mudiru Naduha ẹ̀rọ lólùfẹ́ ni wá ọlọ́run ọba jọ ẹgbẹ́ náà lónìí ó túbà ọlá Muhammadu lọ́dọọlọ́ Allah inna salati ala Muhammad يا بشكل القلوب من الجلال محمد سيد الكونين والذكرين والفريقين من قربه ومن أجمه صلوا على النبي
عليه صلاة الله ثم سلامه عليه صلاة الله ثم سلامه
ما شاء الله What I'm saying is that I'm praying that every one of you that have come here, inshallah, you get to your destination safely, inshallah.
Gbogbo ọkùnrin ó borí kábàrí ẹ̀. Ó ṣe mo dúpẹ́ ogún àkíyèsí ọ̀rẹ́ mi pàtàkì. Ọ̀rẹ́ tí ń bá lè gbé tí ò kíyèsí ọ̀rẹ́ ni tá a bá ti rírú wọn ṣíṣe ló yẹ ká sá fún wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n bí tó fojú sí ọ̀nà òpàbẹ̀ rárá ìfẹ́ mọ́rí akọ́ni ṣe bí mo fẹ́ kó o gbà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìjẹ́ dá tó o bá fẹ́ mọ kí nìdí àbájọ tí mo ká ṣe Bọ́lá fi ń ké kí ni tó forí ewì náà gan kí ló dé tí mo fi ń kígbe ní kíkankíkan. Ọ̀rẹ́ dákun bá ń wábì kan fìdílé tó o bá fẹ́ mọ kí ni tó fàdí ọ̀rọ̀. Ayé ń dojúrú ìgbà ń dàrú o. Ọmọ Ádámọ̀ ò fẹ́ ṣe mí mọ́mọ́ wọ́n daṣọ bojú wọ́n ń bínú mọ́lẹ̀ fa wọ́n daṣọ bojú wọ́n ń bínú mọ́lẹ̀ fa wọ́n lè tó dára ní ká máa kó mìíràn sílé ẹ̀sìn wọ́n wá wò sùsùsù wọ́n wo ẹni aláwọ̀ àbífà ló rán sáré wọ́n ló ń gan ló dá wàhálà alẹ̀ sínú ìgbà. Èyí gan ló jẹ́ kí Sheikh Ahmadu Aliuda ó máa ké tantan létí aráyé. Wọ́n ní tìgbà yìí gbà ní ká máa pariwo ànábì wa Muhammadu. Wọ́n ní tá a bá dákẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́ tá a mọ́wọ́ lẹ́rán ìran ọmọ káfíìrì ò ní yé da yẹn kí sínú epo. Bí ìran mùsùlùmí kọ̀ tí ò bá sọ bóníṣẹ́ láti jẹ́ fáráyé ọ̀tá ọmọ Amina ò ní yé pa sí ọ̀ nínú ìtàn. Ǹjẹ́ dá àríṣekọ́lá ń ké sí gbogbo ẹni tí ó torí ànábì gbaládá o. Ó yẹ ẹjọ́ àjọ ṣèrìn àjò ẹ̀mí kájọ débi ilẹ̀ tá ànábì mi fi ṣaṣọ́búra. Ẹ tẹ̀lé mi dé Màdínà ní kí á mọ́ sá ẹjẹ́ àjọ kí ẹni tọ́ba mi aláwò ń kì í. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammadin salatan tuhabbibu biha ilayya al-ibadata wal hasanati wa tunaqi biha qalbi min jami'i zulumati wa tarhamni biha fil hayati wa fil في كل قلوب شفاء لفؤادي صلى عليه رب العباد سجد الشوق في فؤادي النبي محمد لأحمد المصطفى لجوادي فقمت في بابه أنادي يا سيدي يا رسول ربي سيف القلوب شفاء لفؤادي صلى عليه رب العباد أقول يا أيها الرسول يا كاشف الكرب يا رسول إلى مرامي فتالي وصول يا سيدي يا رسول ربي يا طيب القلوب شفاء لفؤادي صلى عليه رب العباد النبي mo pe o oníṣẹ́ ńlá mo pe o aṣíwájú ẹ̀dá mo pe o aṣíwájú ayé mo pe o aṣíwájú ọ̀run mo pe ọ́ nítorí dá mi lójú wípé mo ti ń pè ọ́ náà ló ṣe ṣẹ́ mi abiyamọ kì í dẹ́kun ọmọ rẹ̀ kó mọ́ mọ̀ta tí rere mo pè ọ́ kó wá jẹ́ mi ní o mo pè ọ́ kó wá jẹ́ Muhammad ànábì mi ó bàbàrà ká mọ́ purọ́ ìròyìn rẹ̀ tóbi púpọ̀ ó ju tẹ́nìkan lè sọ lọ ọ̀rọ̀ kí ni Lárìnká fẹ́ sọ nípa fífẹ̀ ilẹ̀ bí irú kílómù ẹ̀kan fẹ́ sọ nípa fífẹ̀ òkun ó yẹ ẹ sọ fún mi ta ló lórí pípé tó lè sọ tójú wúrọ̀ ànábì mo pè ó oníṣẹ́ ńlá mo pè ó aṣíwájú rọrùn mo pè ó aṣíwájú bíìsì mo pè ọ́ ọ̀tá ló kú gbogbo wa pàdé rẹ níjọ́sí kó o tó sọ ọ́ dogun fún wọn tógun lọ́tà fi fúnlẹ̀ oníṣẹ́ ńlá wọn láfi káwọn ó fẹ̀mí ẹ̀ o nítorí ọmọ kọ́ nítorí aya kọ́ nítorí títí wa ní àtògùn ọ̀tá lórí oníṣẹ́ ńlá ọba mi ò jẹ́ ogún lórí Muhammad ṣèbí wọn lẹni tó ṣe wípé sátìràmọ́dì nínú ọ̀la ńláńlá àpọ́nlé rẹ ní í ṣe ó tún ké sí gbogbo màláìkà kí wọ́n lè jọ mọ́ sọ nípa gíga rẹ ẹgbẹ́ àpò gbogbo mùtúmùwà ẹjẹ́ ń bi yín tó níyẹn bá jí yẹn tán tó tún sọ dídùn ọbẹ̀ kan kí lẹni tó bómi lásán fẹ́ rò lọ́rọ̀. ìwọ gan náà tiẹ̀ ní ìwọ ní àtùpà nínú òkùnkùn mo kí ọ òṣùpá nínú òru dúdú ṣé wọ́n gan lò nínú ọ̀sán atórí ẹni tí ò sunwọ̀n sí ẹni tó múrí ìwà gbogbo ayé wá ṣe ẹgbẹ́ àpò gbogbo mùtúmùwà tá a bá lọ tá a bá bọ̀ ká máa rántí wípé kò sí irú Muhammad lókè ìpẹ́. Ànábì mi o tó bá jẹ́ nípa ti bíbí àti ìran kò lálàfiwé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò sálàfijọ́ rẹ ṣé bí wọn náà ní bíbí ire tá a bí nílé ire torí ire wá kiri bí ire kì í wọ́ lọ́rọ̀ rẹ ìwọ gan la ní ìkáyé ológo bàbá ògo ẹni ire ló bí ẹ ẹni ire ló tọ́ ọ ẹni ire ló wù ọ́ ṣé wọ́n gan làdìwó làkún gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ṣorí ire ẹ dákun gbogbo ọmọ mùtúmùwà tá a bá lọ tá a bá bọ̀ ká máa rántí wípé kò sí irú Muhammad lékèké wọ́n ti rí ànábì ìpamílẹ́kùn 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 Muhammad orí táwọn jẹ̀ ránlẹ̀ wọ́n ti rí ànábì ìpamílẹ́kùn. Sowọ́lá ló bá náà rí ìsàsíwájú. 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 Máàlìkì ẹ̀yà nábì ló wá. Ṣáfi'í ẹ̀yà nábì ló wá. Àwùbàní ẹ̀yà nábì ló wá. Abu Hanifa ẹ̀yà nábì ló wá. Sowọ́lá ló bá nábì ṣàṣìwájú pé aṣíwájú aṣíwájú ayé nìkan ló jẹ́. Aṣíwájú ayé nìkan ló jẹ́. Ó dàgbà dọ̀rùn ọ̀gá ni Muhammad. Aṣíwájú ayé nìkan ló jẹ́.
Tani ó
Torí ànábì gbàládà. Torí ànábì gbàládà.
Tani ó
Torí ànábì gbàládà. Torí ànábì gbàládà.
bóyá ẹ̀gbọ́n
Sókè lẹ́yìn ọmọ torí ànábì gbàládà. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Abájọ àbọ̀ wáyé nìjọba mi pé ṣé ìdámọ̀ nìkan ni wọ́n tún àwọn like father like son. Ìwọ Muhammad ń gbọ́. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sure that we've enjoyed ourselves. Now let's have the next lecture. Sheikh Al-Fadil Al-Muhtaram. It seems that I've forgotten the list of the names we are heading. Ebirullah. Ebirullah now. Ebirullah very well now. You want Nabi. Ìdí òde bí àṣírí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún náà ni pé kálukú jòkó à ń jẹun bí ká wà ní ó gbàgbé ẹ̀sìn bí mo ti ń jẹun. Fadilatu Sheikh Al-Imam Al-Fadil Al-Muhtaram الشيخ عبد الرحمن محمد الأول بودي أن آخذ وأن أنقص من وقت فضيلتكم لو سمحتم. نأخذ صراحة 10 دقائق وبافتراض أنكم وافقتمونا على ذلك. جزاكم الله خيرات جزيلة. أهلا وسهلا مرحبا. What I just said to you is that I've communicated to you that you should inshallah spend at least almost an hour. Is that okay by you all? àwọn èèyàn tó wọ kí wọ́n fẹ́ ẹjọ́ yìí lọ sàn á lọ sàn án fún wọn.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين. الحمد لله الذي هدانا للطريق الحق وأسبغ علينا نعمه ظاهرة وباطنة. سبحانه الواحد الأحد المناصر عن الشرك والولد. يؤتي الحكمة من يشاء ومن يؤت الحكمة فقد أوتي خيرا كثيرا. اللهم ألهمنا العمل بما يقربنا إليك واجعل أعمالنا مقبولة لديك بحق من هو أقرب الخلق إليك حبيبك ونبيك ورسولك الذي آتيته سبعا من المثاني والقرآن العظيم وأديت به من اتبعه وصدقه وأزره وأيده. ìròyìn Muhammad kò kọjá ohun tẹ́nìkan lè wí. ìròyìn Ànábì kò kọjá ohun tẹ́nìkan lè sọ. ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ díẹ̀ fún olólùfẹ́ Muhammad wa. ìròyìn Muhammad kò kọjá ohun tẹ́nìkan lè sọ. ìròyìn Ànábì kò kọjá ohun tẹ́nìkan lè wí. ẹ jẹ́ n sọ díẹ̀ níbẹ̀ fún olólùfẹ́ Muhammad.
Allahumma ya Rabbi salli ala Muhammadin
ẹ̀yùn máa nábì wá.
wa sayyidi saadati nabiyyi محمد
اللهم يا ربي صل على محمد وسيد سادات النبي محمد
اللهم يا ربي
صل على محمد
وسيد سادات النبي محمد
اللهم يا ربي صل على محمد
وسيد سادات النبي محمد
صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم.
صلى الله عليه وسلم.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وكرم على سيدنا محمد صلاة كاملة لا نهاية له كما لا نهاية لكمالك وعدد كمالك اللهم آمين.
آمين.
As it's been said, my time had been, I don't know how to put it because I don't want to be offended with my choice of word. Well, I will try as much as possible to manage the allotted time given to me. And that was why I came in with the rendition that to discuss or to epitomize Muhammadu, Rosulullah.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Even if we are to use 365 or 66 days, we shall not be able to say much about our beloved Prophet Muhammad
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
But without much ado, I will salute the courage of Sheikh Ahmad Bukhari al-Mukhtar for trying to come in another way. To some people, it may be some kind of innovation, but if it's been adjudged as innovation, I will give you that Sihi be the Atun Asana. Because we discussed about it in Dubai. I was coming from Canada on my way to Lagos. And I don't know how Sheikh Mutar have been able to do that so often. We have not been able to meet on the soil. It's either we meet at the transit of, we've met on KLM, we've met on the Emirates. I don't think we've met on Virgin Atlantic. But most constantly we have not been able to meet, and he discussed about this innovation with me, and I said, inshallah, if Allah preserve us, I shall be among those who are going to honor him. And we are here today. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have preserved our souls to be here this afternoon. I'm so elated we not have been able to see those people that came in across the Atlantic, not because of anything, but because of Muhammad. One of my members told me sometimes that I've been able to do a very tangible work in his life, because while he was in the US, every weekend he will travel across the Atlantic to France to meet just a girlfriend. Sometimes that I've been able to do a very tangible work in his life, because while he was in the US, every weekend he will travel across the Atlantic to France to meet just a girlfriend. And I was elated that those of you came from UK, from US, all because of Muhammad. Wallahi, we believe in she when he pay. Abdullah people they call no pay. Wallahi, could he be? We believe in she. Wallahi, and the Rukuma bin Wallahi, could he be? Orosami, Oribi Wu, me wanting basso. Where are you going to continue? Because the best what you are, you know, in which only chronicles one law. She wanted more money, people like to be. I want you one man, maybe not so. Sheikh, what is your name? Sheikh, I'm not going to Sheikh on back the Said Timay. Also, Nipa Aki Kotu Madiya. La ilaha illallah Muhammadu Rosulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Èmi àti ṣéwà fọ́gbọ́nra wá ní ẹ̀yìn náà wọ́n wọnú ọgbà yín nìyẹn. Téèyàn bá mọ ànábì kò sí ṣòro fún ìwọ̀n.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Èmi máa sọ wípé wákàmí máa sọ pé kò sí nǹkan téèyàn lè ṣe àfàsàlátù nìkan náà. Téèyàn bá ti ní àsàlátù gbogbo nǹkan ló ti ní.
Àsàlátù lálẹ́ ṣe ìtàlẹ́bí.
Mi fẹ́ lọ jìnnà ní kí lè bá rẹ̀ ráyè.
Òṣùnkóhùn tálẹ̀ ṣe tó bá sàlátù.
Ọlá ìkòsí tó lè bá.
Àsàlátù lálẹ́ ṣe ìtàlẹ́bí.
To some people, it's just a time wasting. To some people, it's just a gathering of some kind of non-entities. To some people, are just jobless people that they don't know what they really want. But we just mere saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Subhanallah.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Let me just, if I continue trying to juxtapose and try to synergize, it will take much of our time. I want to pray for the Muhammadu Rosulullah from all over the world, wherever you are. If you are able to feel like I am, please stand on your feet.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Mo fẹ́ kọ́ ní kálukú wa kájà ní ọ̀sọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́run. Káwọlá agbóta wà ní èyí. Agbó ànábì la wà yìí. Ẹni bá mọ ànábì ò ní dáùtù pé bóyá gbọ́ àwọn àgbà fún kò ní bà. Kó ní kálukú wà sábìrì ọlọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́run. Especially èyí tẹ travel down. Kò easy. Ẹlòmíì ní air phobia. Ẹlòmíì lè jẹ́ pé bí engagement ní iṣẹ́ ni. My wife also was here for our grandeur gathering ní 31st of March. She could barely spend just 5 days with me. Ó ti padà. All because pounds yẹn ti ń rí lọ yẹn. So káwá tó wá fi wálẹ̀ fọlọ́run fánábì. Ẹ̀bà ni yá rọ́bà Muhammadin sọ́lí àlá Muhammad.
Yá rọ́bà Muhammadin sọ́lí àlá Muhammad. Yá rọ́bà Muhammadin sọ́lí àlá Muhammad. Yá rọ́bà Muhammadin sọ́lí àlá Muhammad. Yá rọ́bà Muhammadin sọ́lí àlá Muhammad. Ya Rabba Muhammadin salli ala 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 Muhammad. Ya Rabba Muhammadin salli ala
يا اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى ال سيدنا محمد صلاة تنجينا بها من جميع الأهوال والآفات وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات وترفعنا بها عندك على درجات وتباركنا بها أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الآيات وبعد الممات. الفاتحة جدو.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
الرحمن الرحيم.
مالك يوم الدين.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
The topic given to me is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, an antagonist of terrorism. What a kind of juxtaposition, or what kind of an allegation against someone that Allah said He sent him purposely because of mercy to all mankind. But we could not be able to try to dislodge ourselves from this stigma, because it's a serious issue.
Dr. Adinekan said something that there was a time that he was traveling to US and he was detained for almost 4 hours. In fact, I don't try to look like a Muslim for people to say that here. Whenever I'm trying to travel, most especially on some airline, I could dress in a full Galleria when I'm on Emirates, but on KLM, I will never do that. On Virgin, I will never do that. On Lufthansa, I will never do that. Because this stigma of a terrorist, even among ourselves, because I could remember vividly there was a time I was traveling. No, I was not traveling. Well, to me, it could be a travel because I live in North London before to East London, and I was leaving from Canada Water under Jubilee Line. So when we got to, I think we got to, is it not? We are moving closer to North London, and this guy came in. He looks like an Arab with a full bed, and he was carrying a hunchback. Wallahi, I was just looking at him that what is likely to happen. I was reciting all the ayat that I know that could save me. I was mixing up Lakodi Jakun and Ayat al-Kursi because it was just few days when the incident of July the 5th happened in Victoria. So and this guy came in, I was looking at him, maybe he was tired, he was looking fearful. So I was just thinking, what is going to happen now? We are under the tube. What is going to escape us if anything should happen here? But I tell you, the issue of terrorism that is being put against the Muslim or even Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the word is an hypothesis. When you want to try to analyze the hypothesis of terrorism and Muhammad, let's just put it that way. I know my humble friend and a senior PhD holder, because he has had his PhD for almost only God knows the exact year. And I wasn't asking him what is happening when we have been now claiming that even in LASU there is politics, even in academics there is politics. So let me not go there again. The hypothesis of terrorism, succinctly put, is to coerce someone based on political reason. But Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never coerced anybody. In my write-up, there was these Orientalist who was a British in 1923. His name is Dulasi O'Leary. In his book Islam at Crossroads, he tried to assert that history makes it clear that the legion of fanatical Muslims sweeping throughout the world and forcing Islam at the point of the sword upon conquered races is one of the most fantastically absurd myths that historians have ever repeated. He continued that when we are talking about enforcing someone, Islam has never enforced anyone to accept his religion. And this was the view of Karen Armstrong. She said, she wrote a lot of books about the Arabs and the Islamic history and issue of religion, something, across the border. He wrote about socialism, Buddhism, agnostic, all sorts of, and she also asserted that Islam is not about force. And even trying to quote the word of Allah that Allah says, La ikraha fi dini qad tabayyana rushdu min al-ghayy. But today, how do we try to manage ourselves if we don't really know who Muhammad is? So we are so happy for Muhammadu Rosulullah Global Family for giving us this opportunity. Let me just go read through and for our understanding later, I will be able to, if time permits me. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prophethood is divided into two periods. The Meccan period, which lasted for 13 years from the start of his revelation to his emigration to Medina, and the Medina period, which lasted the remaining 10 years of his life, as it been asserted by Dr. Said Olorotimi. The Meccan period is characterized by the more elliptical and otherworldly portions of the Quran, and by the story of the rejected and persecuted prophet. I don't want to go into details how he was rejected in Mecca and he took a refuge in Taif. He was sent back, and Muhammad could not be able to do anything, rather crying unto Allah, Allahumma ashku ilayka dhurfa quwwati. He didn't raise curses over them upon all what he meted against him, but rather he prayed Allah to guide them, say ummati, 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 Allahumma hadi qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun. My Ummah, they do not know. If they know, they wouldn't have do all what they are doing to me. Yet he tried to escape to Medina. There he evolved from the charismatic head of a small group to the political and spiritual director of a large community. For the first time, he had to wrestle with the challenges of creating a new society. The Quran continued to be revealed to him, but the focus of the message broadened now from the purely spiritual to include the moral, temporal issues of community building, lawmaking, social institution. Our noble Prophet Muhammad also came under formal military attack for the first time in Medina. The Quran and Muhammad's teaching also focused on delineating the concept of just war. Formal permission to fight it first applied in Medina Surah, where Allah says, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الشَّهْرِ الْحَرَامِ قِتَالٌ فِيهِ قُلْ قِتَالٌ فِيهِ كبير وصد عن سبيل الله وكفر به والمسجد الحرام وإخراج أهله منه أكبر عند الله والفتنة أكبر من القتل. This was when Allah asked him to defend himself. It wasn't as if it was the idea of Prophet Muhammad to wage war against his people, because he was from the Qurayshites and they are the one that controlling Mecca then. And by what he brought, they thought that he's mad, he cannot be one of us. Maybe he had seen something that was making him to tell us to leave our 365 goddess that we worship one per day, to just only one God. So it was this incident that Allah asked him to wage war against them. Because some people now said, especially the Orientalists, that Muhammad spread the word of Islam, holding the Quran. So imagine that Rosulullah was holding Quran by his left hand and using sword, whoever that go against the teachings of the Quran. It was never done. Even the compilation of Quran was not done in the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah asserted that وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Do not take life. God has made sacred the sanctity of the soul of even towards other animals, the lower grade animal. If you don't need them, you don't kill them. That is the injunctions of Islam. Not to talk of calling Muhammad a terrorist. So here I try to analyze the meaning of jihad, which is often mistranslated as holy war. There's nothing that's called holy war. Even Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us that the best way for us to do jihad is to do jihad of nafs. How to be able to curb our urge, the whims and caprices of our mind, of our souls. That is the best of all jihad. So I go further about the rules of war. When there was war during the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad, which had been asserted by Dr. Said Timain, even the conflict resolution, what. We know how the United Nations had tried to put it to us, but the ideology of Prophet Muhammad of trying to end war, the best of all these analyses is the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah simplifying who Muhammad was.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
When he was trying to do Umrah, and one among the Munafiq in Medina had went behind to tell them in Makkah that Muhammad was coming to wage war against him. So they sent their errand that Muhammad, this is not our doing. Whenever we are ready to wage war against one another, we try to set a limit, the timeline and what have you. Rasulullah said, no, I'm not coming for war. I've been yearning of visiting the Kaaba for all this while that you've expelled me from Kaaba. I'm here with my group to do Umrah. They said, no, we are not going to allow you. And if that's going to be, it has to be next year. So there should be a written document. Document, we call it Istifham Sha'biyya, memorandum of understanding between two parties or the group of nations. So in this letter, Sayyidina Ali Karamallahu Wajhahu was the one that put the name of Muhammad that in the name of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, name Muhammadu Rosulullah, and he stated all the terms. Upon getting to Makkah, the letter was returned back to Muhammad, simply because of what? They said that, who is Allah? Who is Rahman? Who is Rahim? Simply put, be Ismil Ilahi, by just name of God. Don't define God for us. So Rasulullah was now challenging them, Abu Bakr, Umar, Sayyidina Ali, and Uthman, that you should have been able to erase it. They are looking at themselves that who among us is going to remove Rasulullah from your name? This led to some kind of a very odd argument within the Islamic Ummah at that period in time. Even Sayyidina Umar challenged Rasulullah. Allah tabi Rasulin. Are you no more the Rasulullah Allah said to us? Allah said, Shabi, you all know that I'm your Rasul. It is they that they don't know that I'm Rasul. Leave them and let us just allow us to perform our Umrah. Sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Let's just challenge our conscience. Who will accept being rejected by his opponent of what and who he or she is? That is the essence of when we say that we are truly followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We should let go some other things, just for people to see and recognize us as a true follower of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If our name is being mentioned without our titles, our whatever, Alaji, Alaja, Baba Dini, Yadini, whatever, we will say, no, that's not my name. They are not really calling me. Or rather, okay, if this is the way you know me, I'm going to reduce what I'm going to give to you. So let us just try to imbibe in the ideologies of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the persistent myth about how people see us, it is not the way people see us is that we are going to react. Allah says, وَإِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. Whenever we are being attacked or we are being alleged as a terrorist, we should try to respond to them that may the peace of Allah be with you. That should be the modest way of responding to them. And finally, the global epidemic of trying to rewrite the history about what Muslims are and what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stand for. At the same time, I'm coming to conclusion because my time is up. It is important to recognize that terrorism is a global epidemic that manifests itself in various forms and afflicts practically every community that is mired in political and social problems across the globe. In other words, while terrorism involving Muslims represents a deviation from Islamic principles, it is by no means confined to Muslims alone. In a world full of conflicts, the most effective way in which we can combat terrorism is by building bridges of compassion and cooperation, as stated by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No matter what our races, ethnicities, or religion may be, only then can we come closer to our shared goals of security and peace, thereby sanctifying life just as Allah intends us to, not only for ourselves, but for future generations as well. And this word, Muhammad Rasulullah Global Family, is trying to enrich us with, to be able to know, to understand. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to preserve this global organization and prosper you with a lot of affluence and opulence, to be able to let people know, to be able to let those who have not been part of this to be part of it. دعواهم فيها سبحانك اللهم وتحياتهم فيها سلام وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. بالله أتقوا ولا صراحة. لكن بفضلكم أمضيتم وقضيتم ما لا يقل عن 25 دقيقة. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. The next thing is reaction.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. My name is Lekki, Muhammadu, the founder of our International Prayer Mission.
Thank you, sir. What is the mission of being here today?
Oh, well, my mission being here today is to witness the glorious gathering because Muhammadu Rosulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a noble prophet. Celebrating Muhammad in a new dimension is what is needed in Islam, not in the old version which people really embrace. So we need to embrace it as well. Fi gbé lárugẹ kí ànábì náà kí lóore náà gbé àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n tún kú yìí gba orúkọ rẹ̀.
Bàbá gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ní ẹ fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ní èdè abínibí èdè Yorùbá. Ǹjẹ́ ẹ lè ṣàlàyé fún gbogbo etí tó ń gbọ́ wa pàtàkì ọ̀dọ́ nínú Islam àti pàtàkì ọ̀dọ́ ní àsìkò táwọn?
Alhamdulillah ní ṣẹ́rí ọ̀dọ́ wọ́n bá sọ pé kí ni ọ̀dọ́ lẹni tí orí rẹ̀ ò tí ì kún jù láti fi ronú lọ síwájú. Ọ̀dọ́ lẹni tí orí rẹ̀ tó ṣì tí làákàyè rẹ̀ ṣì mú bérebére láti fi mú ìyípadà rere bá nǹkan. So insha Allah ọ̀dọ́ ni a rí ìmúdìdì nínú Islam tó lọ bá embrace ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn nǹkan rí pàtàkì jùlọ irú yìí tí àwọn sheikh wa Ahmad Mukhtar tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ yìí. Ọ̀dọ́ la lè bá sọ̀rọ̀ tí ó wọ̀ létí tí ó sì rí tí ó ronú sí tí ó fi mú nǹkan rere jáde nínú ọ̀dọ́ bá sọ tí ó fi mú ìyípadà rere bá Islam tí ó fi mú ìyípadà rere bá orílẹ̀-èdè tí ó fi mú ìyípadà rere bá àdúgbò tí ó fi mú ìyípadà rere bá ilé.
Bàbá ǹjẹ́ a lè rí ìtọ́ka àbí àdéhùn tí ó fẹ́ tọ́ka sí eléyìí àti pé tí ó fẹ́ ṣàjá àwọn èèyàn sí ilé?
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí orin kan táwọn ọkọ̀ wọn ní innama al-Qur'an yahdi lakum wa huwa yashfi lakum da'akum allimu awladakum dinakum allimu kó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ awladakum kó sọ pé ká káwọn bàbá wa báwọn ya wa allimu awladakum ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn ọmọ yín dinakum bí ẹ̀sìn yìí ò bí yìí kí mo bá dákun áfàdàkùn tí wọ́n lè gbé dúró fún nígbà tẹ́yìn bá lọ tán ẹ̀sìn yìí tẹ̀sìn òun ni yóò bá sọ pòwe wípé ní òòṣà tá a máa ń sìn tá à ń lé ọmọdé sẹ́yìn òòṣà náà ní pẹ́pà.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí orin tẹ mú wáyé èmi náà ní gbàgbé ọ̀rọ̀ ànábì wa Muhammad èyí tó sọ pé á lè mú awladakum fa innahum dinukum. Pẹ̀lú àdìsí yìí àti orin tẹ́ mú wáyé a rí àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọlọ́lá olówó láwùjọ wa tí wọ́n jẹ́ olórí tí wọ́n ń fi ojú wo àwọn tí wọ́n ń tó bíi pé wọ́n ti ẹ̀jẹ̀ kí lẹ lè sọ fún eléyìí?
Ó wẹ̀ alhamdulillah ọ̀gbìn ní abáníkà wò ó láyé lèyìn ìwé ó ba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kan jẹ́ ìwé ó tún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ṣe ọ̀nà wọn ni ìwé gbàgbà nǹkan jẹ́ ní wípé ní ìmọ̀ ọlọ́run ò sí nínú ìwé tí wọ́n ń kọ́ yẹn lọ. Àzàyà yunifásitì méjì ni mo wọ́n. I did food science and technology in Polytechnic, Federal Polytechnic Ìlànà. So I went outside Islamic related courses. For what? To know the importance of education on its own, aside from what we've learned in America. So, ọlọ́lá tí ò jẹ́ kí ọmọ ìwé tó iná ṣe pọ̀ lẹ́mọ̀ ọmọ ìwé padà gbé wá níwájú. Because ìwé náà lábá débi homosexual, ìlú làbájé di gbogbo dáadáa tí wọ́n bá tẹ̀lé ayé lẹ́nu mo kéwù mo kàwé kò yí sì fẹ́ níbọ̀dì láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́ọ̀ṣì kìkì wá jọ ìkọ́ ọdún because I know what it takes to be a good Muslim. So àwọn òbí àti ìmọ̀láyé lẹ́nu ká gbà láàyè fáwọn ọmọ wa kí wọ́n kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ Al-Qur'an tó dàbí ojú Qur'an tó bá dẹ̀ ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ Al-Qur'an tó bá yẹ gbogbo nǹkan ló ti mọ̀.
May your prayer for the nation generally and Yayi TV.
Yayi TV, Yayi TV, Yayi TV. Ilal amamu, ilal amamu, ilal amamu. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ó lè fẹ́ dàrú wọn lọ́wọ́ pé ilal amamu bá wọ àwọn ewu nǹkan lẹ̀ a máa gbé nǹkan sókè. Wọ́n rán ṣe ara Ibrahim Elias ìjọ tí wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ ṣé òkú ilal amamu bá wọ ilal amamu ló yẹ kó jẹ́ ṣé òní náà mo máa ń fa wàlẹ̀ ànàdà àwa máa gbé inú òkè ní àìwọ́ wálẹ̀. So Yayi TV ilal amamu, ilal amamu, ilal amamu. Ní wálẹ̀ mọ̀ gbòòrò sí wọ́la mọ̀lánà Sheikh Adam wọ́la mọ̀lánà Sheikh Abdullahi 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 Muhammadu Rasulullah global football ọ̀rọ̀ ló jẹ́ kí wọ́n wálẹ̀ àlùmọ́dé alápapọ̀ wọ́n ní wálẹ̀.
Questions and answers. So really we have this now. We'll be having it very briefly. Whoever has one or two questions to signify. Just for
I commend all our lecturers and I pray that Allah continue to increase them in knowledge. My question goes to my teacher. Sheikh Dr. Said Simei, when you were delivering your lecture, when you got to the area of being good to neighbors, we said we should be good to our neighbors regardless of any religion, which was understood. But you mentioned something which I got confused, that even when he dies, but we never differentiated. And I knew only even when he dies, we should visit his grave. Now, even if non-Muslim dies, because we've read many things concerning if a non-Muslim dies, we should not visit his grave. Should we also visit their graves? How do you justify that? Okay. Give more evaluation on that side.
Not to react to that. I think the have noted that. They have noted it. Any other suggestion, question, or answer? I'm very sorry. Our low reaction tells us that we really enjoy the lecturers and we applaud for them, and that has been the usual habit of the Muslims. You see them saying, Allahu Akbar! Please, for it not to be like that, so that we know you have to hear something. Yeah, Bismillah.
I have a Muslim sister, a friend. All her family members is Muslim, but she is the only Muslim among them now. All others they are now Christians. Jump the fence. They are Christians. So, like they said, if you are a Muslim, you don't have anything to do with non-Muslims. At this junction, she said, my mother is a Christian. I love her so much. If, by the will of Allah, my mother dies today, do I give her every right I'm supposed to give to a mother as a Muslim, or I deprive her? Then the fact that she's now a Christian and a Muslim.
Very wonderful question. You can see the question still goes to the lecture, Chairman, sir. You didn't take permission before you come. Chairman, I'm the chairman here. I'm not giving you a particular question. Now you can talk, sir.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, let me first start by appreciating our lecturers, our speakers today. In fact, we have been so endowed, and I think knowledge is continuing. We have learned so much today. Personally, I've been taking down some points to pull me through. Also, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to increase your weight of knowledge. And may Allah reward this act of ibadah. My issue is general, and my question will be general. If we look at the question of the theme of it says challenges in the contemporary world. That means we are talking in the recent world. So when we now look at the problem in the contemporary, is there anything really contemporary in our challenges? Because reading through the history of our prophets, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's like you have gone through all these problems and there is hardly any problem that was not mentioned in the Holy Quran. So I think the missing point is our approach these days. So my lecturer, sir, Dr. Saitine, I want you to assist us in breaking down the issue of contemporary challenges. Is it really something contemporary, relatively, in the challenges we have in that? Because I know.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Noted. I think very shortly, Dr. should react to that. Bismillah. Please, those who still have questions should pen it down.
Well, there are three questions, and the first two are the same, packaged in different ways. Whether you are a Muslim or a non-Muslim, you are primarily a human being, and you deserve all the honors to be given or to be accorded a human being. Dr. Abu Ghafar Adeleko he referred to a tradition of the Prophet ﷺ. A Jew died and he was being taken to the graveyard. The Prophet ﷺ saw the funeral procession and he stood up as a mark of respect. And you know what happened? The companion said, he's a Jew. The Prophet said, he's not a human being. And it was in the light of this that he said, Aksinu ila nasi jami'an, be good to everybody. If they are not your brothers in faith, they are your brothers through Adam. They are your brothers by humanity. Now, in the case of funeral service, I didn't say you should visit the grave, but you should commiserate with them and attend it. In Kashful Gumma and Jami'ul Ummah of Abdul Wahab Sha'rani, a man came to Umar, and that answers your question, sister. A man came to Umar and said, my mother is a Christian, and I'm a Muslim. If she dies, what do I do? And Umar said, lead the funeral procession to the place of worship and stand aside. Let them bury your mother in accordance with the Christian rites, but you must be present. You must honor your mother. And the greatest bond in life, apart from the bond between you and your creator, is the one between you and your mother. So it can never be replaced. So you see, and that brings me to this point. One of the contemporary challenges is the fact that we have so many ignorant scholars. During the time of the Prophet ﷺ, ignorance was never celebrated. Today we glorify ignorance. We celebrate it, we package it, we adorn it in the garment of nobility. There are so many people who do not know, and they do not know that they do not know, and they do not even want to know that they do not know. But the moment they put on a turban and don the regalia of a scholar, they are scholars. And this has continued to destroy Islam from within. That is a contemporary challenge. Another thing is, people find it very difficult to understand the difference between the text of the scripture and the context. And that has brought about a distortion of the Islamic teachings. The challenge of terrorism which we have today is a contemporary challenge. It was not there at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. And let me tell you, all the terrorists in the world who claim to be Muslims draw inspirations from the misinterpretations of Muslim scholars. They draw inspirations from the misinterpretations of Muslim scholars themselves. Nobody except the Prophet ﷺ, no scholar is infallible. We are all susceptible to errors. But the problem we have is we believe that there are certain scholars that can never make mistakes. That's a lie. The Arabs say, لِكُلِّ عَالِمٍ هَفْوَةٍ, for every scholar there are moments of error. لِكُلِّ صَارِمٍ نَبْوَةٍ, for every arrow there are times it misses the target. لِكُلِّ جَوَادٍ كَبْوَةٍ, for every stallion there are moments of stumble. وَلِكُلِّ وَرْدَةٍ شَوْكُهَا, and for every rose there is a thorn. There is always a thorn in the rose flower. Brothers and sisters in Islam, everybody, there is no angel anywhere. We are all human beings and we have our weaknesses, we can make mistakes. But the moment you approach a scholar or you relate with a scholar as if he is infallible, you are going into the dungeon of ignorance. And that is exactly one of the major contemporary challenges we're facing. And people all over the world now see Islam under the magnifying glasses of the articulate few. The generality of the people, the majority of Muslims are not terrorists, but they are not articulate enough. The few who have this inclination to violence are more articulate than you. And let me give you a typical product of Saudi Arabia universities will have an inclination towards terroristic activities because of the distortion inherent in their interpretation of Islam. One of the most popular books written by Saudi scholars is Kitab al-Tawheed of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab. Kitab al-Tawheed of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab. Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab says in Kitab al-Tawheed, he says, إن المرأة لا يستقيم له إسلامه إن المرأة لو وحد الله وترك الشرك لا يستقيم له إسلامه إلا بمحاربة المشركين. Said a Muslim, a human being, even if he abstains from polytheism, even if he believes that Allah is one, his Islam will never be complete until he wages war against disbelievers. What does that make you? A terrorist. Now, there is a verse, there is an hadith. You all learnt it. If you did the RK, I am at the secondary school level. You all learnt hadith at Umirton Qatil al-Nas. One of the hadiths of Nawawi. Please listen very carefully. The Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, Umirtu an uqatil al-nasa atta yash'adu an la ilaha illallah. I have been commanded to fight people until they say La ilaha illallah. What does that make you? What does it make you? A terrorist. But you see the hypocrisy displayed by those who exploit those hadith is that they understood the text and they ignored the context. The context in Arabic language, the definite article, the, when you say the people, it can mean every group of people, and it can mean a particular class of people. I have been commanded to fight people. That is the command. Then you know that the Prophet ﷺ does not take command from anybody except Allah. So you go to the documentation of the interaction between the Prophet and Allah. Where in the Quran did Allah say he should fight? And you go to Quran chapter 2 verse 190. Allah says, fight in the way of Allah against those who fight you. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, and do not transgress. Inna Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadin. Allah does not love the transgressors. Fight them wherever you meet them and drive them out of where they have driven you out. But Allah says, if they stop persecuting you, stop fighting. Because the Prophet himself understood the context in which he was speaking, he concluded, he said, وَإِن شِئْتُمْ فَقْرَأُوا. At the end of that hadith, the one reported in Jamia Tirmidhi, he said, if you like, interpret the hadith in the light of this verse, فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُسَيْطِرٍ. You are remind them, you are only a reminder. You have not been sent to force them. So any interpretation you're going to give this hadith must agree with this verse of the Quran. But people deliberately distort the truth, partly because of personal gain and partly because they don't know. And that's the reason disunity, the one we see in the Muslim Ummah today, is a contemporary issue. The issue of disunity. The Muslims were united under the Prophet ﷺ. You are not going to see things in the same way. People ignorantly think unity is uniformity. Unity is not uniformity. We can have a unity in diversity. Okay, here I am. I'm looking at you and you're looking at me. If anybody asks you where is your right side, you point to this direction. If I ask my sisters here, they point to this place. And if you ask me my right side, it's here. We should have the wisdom and the humility to accept the fact that your right side is valid for you and my right side is valid for me. My right side will never become yours until I come to sit there or you come to sit here. But when I decide to force you into accepting the fact that my right side is yours or yours is mine, there will be problems. So it is a big challenge, and we've not. This is probably the first time a Muslim group will have this kind of program in this kind of environment. It is easy for people to say, you see, it is easy to just sit down and say, what are they doing? Is it another way of doing Maulid Nabi? It is so petty spite, and it is simply because they do not know. It was Jalaluddin Ar-Rumi rahimahullah that gave us the allegory of 4 traveling companions: an Arab, a Turk, and a Persian, and a Greek. These 4 people embarked upon a journey, and they gave them a certain amount of money to spend. When they got the money, the Arab said, gentlemen, this money we've been given, we're going to buy inab. The Greek said, no, we're going to buy staffing. The Persian said, no, it's going to be hangur. And the Turk said, it's going to be ozum. It degenerated into a fracas. The Arab insisted on inab. The Greek insisted on staffing. The Persian insisted on angur. And the Turk insisted on ozum. And they started fighting. Arab was saying, no, it's inab. And they had already beaten one another to a pulp, until a polyglot, somebody who understood many languages, came along and separated them. What's the matter with you? They explained. He said, okay, give me the money, I'll satisfy all of you. And you know what he did? He got the money and he bought a bunch of grapes. And the Arab shouted, Allah Akbar, is inab. The Greek said it's tafil. The Persian said it's angur. The Turk said it's ozum. It turned out that they were all talking about the same thing, and none was patient and humble enough to ask, what is the meaning of your own name? It is because we have not been coming together to learn. We have come together to learn today. That's the reason why we are able to discuss it. Assalamu alaikum.
Orúkọ mi ni Abọ́láńgé Abísọ́lá. Iṣẹ́ wo ni ṣe? Eléré orí ìtàgé. Eléré orí ìtàgé. Kí ni eléré orí ìtàgé wá ń wá níbi ọjọ́ òbí àná ni wọn mọ̀ ọ́n fún ẹgbẹ́ sí? ọjọ́ bí àná ìbílẹ̀ pé ọ̀tọ́ bá dẹ̀ ti ní ṣe pẹ̀lú náà bí ní muslim àjọ máa gbárùkù sí ìdí nìyẹn tó ń mú àgbé mi.
Kí wá ní advice tó fẹ́ fún àwọn èèyàn àwọn tí wọ́n jọ ń tẹ́jọ́ jẹ́ actress advice wo lẹ lè fún wọn tó wọn bá kú.
Advice tí mo fẹ́ fún wọn kò really sí I don't have much to say because Rosulullah ó ṣe ẹni tí èèyàn kan mọ̀ béèyàn kan ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ kó lówó ẹ̀ fún yàn everybody is aware about this person a lè mọ̀ pé ti messenger tiẹ̀ yàtọ̀ sí tọ̀wọ̀ tó kù.
I was the one who said it.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يميت وهو كل شيء قدير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Well, alhamdulillah, I feel so honored and I'm very happy to be amongst this gathering this afternoon with alhamdulillah Kabira. I'm also very, should I say, I'm very happy at what I've witnessed here today, most especially because we have people who are traveled from far away to come and attend this program, from California, from America, from London. Oh my goodness, it's very impressive and mostly encouraging. And I mean, with all due respect to our brothers in the house, I want all the females in the house to say, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And because the Almighty Allah is the one who has created the Prophet Muhammad, let us give him a big takbir. 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 All of our scholars have said a lot, and I don't think I really have much to say here. But I have just a few messages for us as mothers. That Islam, I think, like we've known, is becoming very, very, how do I put it now? It's getting more awareness, it's becoming more popular, and it's more like the in thing right now, and that is why we are having all these funny tags calling us terrorists and all. But what is my message? The message is, for us as female, we are the gatekeeper. We actually the one that work from. They just say men have, because men just do this whole go about to struggle, to strive for anything. Even women also do it now. We all strive to, Okay, so what my point is that let us keep firm and steadfast on this path, because this is the righteous path. And also because of our children, so they don't get distracted. The world is very, it's getting more attractive. It's looking very fancy, and we want them not to be so, dive too much into whatever it is as a form of distraction. But if we give them the knowledge of Quran, teach them in this path of Islam, let them read their Salah, let them know the benefits of accepting Islam, the orientation behind it, what it stands for, how it will help them to grow and to become someone in the world. We have to always sing it to their ears. The music they listen to, the kind of friends they keep, I think it is very important, because on social media, we see some parents encourage their children to go almost half naked in celebrating their, whatever it is, ages, birthdays, and so on. Whereas, we are not celebrating our children when they are graduating from the Arabic schools and all of that. Let's keep encouraging them. Let them know that it is very important. In fact, that it is the aim thing. The first thing that they should imbibe in is to first accept their religion, take it very firm, even before, I'm sorry, I don't have a child yet, but I always say that if I have my child will first attend an Arabic school before the Western education, because trust me, that has really distracted us a lot. So we need Islam, we need guidance, and I only pray that Almighty Allah will help us as mothers, and because children, they say, are the leaders of tomorrow. And if we don't help them build their future today, trust me, it's going to get even tougher than what we're having right now. May Almighty Allah help us. Like I said, I'm happy, and I wish you all the best. And I wish us all a safe journey back to our various destinations. May Almighty Allah grant us goodness in this dunya and in Jannah. And I'm very grateful for our stars. May Almighty Allah keep guiding you and keep it safe for us always. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, thank you. We really appreciate you. We say thank you.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. أنا عبد الله بن إبراهيم المشهور بصوت الحق، مؤسس صوت الحق السلمي العالمي.
الحمد لله يا شيخ، نرى الإسلام اليوم التعاقب في الإسلام اليوم، ما رأيك على هذا؟
الإسلام دين السلام أولا. الإسلام هو دين سماوي، ليس بعده دين آخر، ليس بعده دين آخر. الإسلام دين جاءنا به نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ليبشرنا الذي من اتبع ملة سيدنا إبراهيم عليه السلام وأنه إن شاء الله يدخل الجنة أمام الله رب العالمين يوم القيامة. الإسلام دين اليسر ودين التعامل ودين الحب والتودد بين الرجال، لكن بعض الشخصيات إنهم يكذبون حقيقة الإسلام من أنهم جاهلوا ماهية الإسلام. حقيقة الإسلام الإسلام جاء مع كتاب، الكتاب الذي هو يصلح العلاقة بين المسلمين وبين الكافرين، وهكذا ذلك الذين هم يتدينون بأي دين يتدينون به.
نعم يا أستاذ، كما قلتم الآن حاليا الإسلام دين اليسر، ونرى الذين يسمى المسلمون اليوم لهم أخلاق غير إسلام، ما سبب هذا؟
أولا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قال الله تعالى في محكم التنزيل ولقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة. من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لقد وصفه الله تعالى بأن له الأسوة الحسنة، ولقد قال بنفسه في حديثه الشريف إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق. لكن النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم جاء وتخلق بين الناس، تودى إليهم، أحسن إلى الجميع بين المسلمين أو غير المسلمين. ولكن المسلمين بعضنا نحن اليوم ليس فينا أخلاق الرسول محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ويسبب ويشك أن يكون السبب لهذا من عدم مفهوم الإسلام، عدم مفهوم الإسلام، لأن الإسلام جاء ليتم به الدين أو مكارم الأخلاق.
شكرا لكم. نريد منكم أن يدعو لنا يا TV وجميع المشاهدون.
ما شاء الله طال معنا اسمه هذا يا TV. نعم طال مع اسمه، وإن شاء الله مجهودكم في الدين والله ليس بمجهود ضعيف، وأسأل الله العزيز أن يرفع لواء هذه المنتدى.
You see, in the beginning you pretend as if you don't talk, but at the end of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين سبحانك اللهم وعنيك سبحانك اللهم وتعاليت سبحانك اللهم والعز إزارك سبحانك اللهم والعظمة رداهك سبحانك اللهم والكبرياء سلطانك سبحانك من عظيم ما أعظمك سبحانك سبيت في العالى تسمع وترى ما تحت الثرى سبحانك أنت شاهد كل نجوى سبحانك موضوع كل شكوى سبحانك حاضر كل مله سبحانك عظيم الرجاه سبحانك تعلم وسط السماوات والأرض سبحانك تعلم وسط الشمس والقمر سبحانك تعلم وسط الفيه والهواء سبحانك ترى وتسمع أنفاس الإيتان في قبور البحار سبحانك عجبا من عرفك كيف لا يخافك سبحانك اللهم بحمدك تبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك اللهم صل بحيك وقيومك على سيدنا محمد عبدك نبيك ورسولك النبي الأمي الفاتح لما أغلق ولا خاتم لما سبق ناصر العقب العقب والعادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره والمقدار العظيم. Amen. I would like to start by reciting some salawat like my Sheikh Fadilatul Mudir did when he was about to start his lecture. I composed these for my beloved Muhammad. The composition is between English and Arabic. I don't know whether you can, I could be able to create a chorus from it, but let's listen to me and attentively please. Habibullahi Mahabubi Bazaka Lahubbu infection Wala Antugidi Adaki Wala Yashifika injection Balahu Lihubbi Asakamun Dawahu Lihubbi connection Muhammadu Adi Mahabubi I love you Muhammad with passion. I said again Allahumma ya Rabbi Salli ala Muhammadin wa sayyidi sadati Nabi Muhammad. That should be a close verse. Thank you. Allahumma salli in the morning wa in the night upon you my sweetheart Amidi wa Muhammadin the generalissimo of Nabi all of them my master my lover Ya Habibi Muhammadin I love you Muhammad more than Nafusi wa property the light of the universe Your Excellency Sayyidi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I'm very happy to be here. Very, very happy. In the midst of the lovers of my beloved Muhammad. There is one hadith, someone put me, Sahih me. Put the Bible in the attack of the as a hand can you do. My Sahabas are like stars. Whoever you follow among them, you are on the right path. Sheikh Tijani says, you cannot measure up to the standard of the Sahaba. That is in their degree, their levels. But competing for the love of Muhammad, I will compete with Abu Bakr, with Umar. They might win me, but I will compete. That's why I said again, I envy Babakar, I envy them. And Umar, because of you, I envy Usman and Ali Yale Ahmed. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very, very happy. Anybody that knows me, when it concerns Muhammad, I give everything. I give everything. trying to deliver this lecture under 5 minutes. That's what I'm trying to do. The topic given me was the facing Sufism in the name of loving Rosulullah. Gbogbo alatiraki ẹ máa rí gẹ́gẹ́ ètò gbogbo síbẹ̀ yìí gbogbo ẹ̀ nínú púpọ̀ but mo fẹ́ràn ní Muhammad. In that in magazine you will see my light up here, but today within 5 minutes just 5 minutes inshallah. Within 5 minutes I want us to look at the reason why we love Muhammad. There must be a reason why we love him. Topic of when you pay our kata is Sufi. I'm Burko Sufi, that I come with my friend and then I'm a that is all little. But there must be a reason why we love him. You know the reason? He loves us so much. Sayyidatuna Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. We are one of Muhammad. Let me just recite that at this summit. Sayyidat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala said, one day I was sleeping. I was seeing the Prophet ﷺ in a very good mood. The Prophet was in a very good mood. I told Muhammad, Ya Rasulullah, pray for me. Oh Prophet of Allah, pray for me. So he prayed. He said, Oh Allah, forgive all of Aisha's previous shortcomings and future ones, and inward actions and outer ones. Aisha said, I smiled. I was so joyous and laughed to the extent of my head dropped on the Prophet's laps. You know, Aisha do. When you can't be shadow of one, you shadow of I share the dishes you are. I didn't go to share. You don't have to come up with it. Aisha was so happy. Follow Murray, who comes Bodily and Muhammad. Allah reaction and Muhammad. But Aisha, are you happy because of my supplication? Are you happy because of my supplication? She replied, how can I not be happy with your supplication? Then he said, I swear by the Almighty Allah, this is a supplication I make for my ummah, my followers in every single prayer. Not for you alone. That is why we love you. But there are some people that, because of there's a pity Dr. Timai is not here now. I want to quote some of his lectures. Even I was delivering the lecture and my mudir, when they are delivering lectures, whenever I go to anywhere, even go to I'm with my paper and pen. During both lectures, these are the 2 lectures I met. During both lectures, I jotted something down. Dr. Timai said, this world has never hosted someone to be a role model to mankind as Muhammad. He said, it is difficult to see a good Muslim. For you to be a good Muslim, you must see Muhammad in you. Thank you very much. He said, the supplication, the glorification, word of glorification, and the title of it, he says, Ajaban man arafaka kayfa la yakhafuk. That is for the Sufis. Those that are doing Sufis like kafir. There is no. One year they told me to come and deliver a lecture in University of Ilorin on Islam and Sufism. But when I told them no, that's a wrong topic. Islam is Sufism, or Sufism is Islam. Islam and Sufism, that is 2 different things. It should be just one thing. But people that are doing Sufism like kafir, Mulana Sheikh Ibrahim, yes. He said, Nusalli salatan raki'ina li rabbina ala za darakna dahra la natakhallaf. You observe salat, bowing and prostrating to the Almighty Allah. That is how it's been for ages. We will not be different. If you are a Sufi, I would have said there is no need for salat. There is no need for Ramadan. You can do anything as you wish. The leader, one of the greatest leaders of Sufism, Sheikh Ibrahim, said, ala zadaraka zahara la natakallaf. That is how it has been for Hades. We will not differ. We will not be different. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sheikh Ibrahim again said, "Aman yadai hubba rasul wa lam yakun bi sunnatihi mutamassikan fa huwa kazib." Whoever claims to love the Prophet but doesn't uphold his sunnah, that is the way of life, is a liar. The one who is truthfully in love will be seen on the path of the beloved ones. Let me sum it now under 1 minute and say Subhana Rabbika. Time is very, very, very valuable. And getting it for me, every day, but doctor and so later, ìrọ̀lẹ́ ìwé ni o ọkọ̀ àtàlẹ́ ní doctor wọn náà fún PhD ẹlòmíì DSc doctor of science doctor náà wúwo ìlọ problem tí mo ní ni pé mo máa ń tójú bọ̀ káàkiri ìrọ̀lẹ́ ìwé wọn náà ìrọ̀lẹ́ ìwé o Lekki wọn náà mi lọ. Gbàtí mo kọ article sínú kìíní. When I was coming, when I woke up this morning after my escape, and I write this, the reign of quantity. The reign of quantity. Quality till low, quantity is now reigning. The reign of quantity. In Tasawwuf, there is a group of Sufis they call al-malamatiya, people of blame. They are those that people don't know. They are those that knows but are not known. Allah placed their blaming self over them as a protection against self-conceit and satisfaction. But today we have pretenders al-mustawif as Sufis. The leaders of Sufis today are pretenders. The one who pretends to have mystic knowledge, he becomes a danger to himself and others. When the action and words of the Sufi are weighed against the beautiful models of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, it is easy to discern that he is a fraud. He is a fraud. To know that the slave is the slave and the Lord is the Lord is the supreme form of spiritual courtesy towards Allah. Before the keyboard professor, let me call him Professor. Professor Timain, actually 82 that is one of the barak of Rasulullah. I was called to deliver a lecture in Abuja. I was sure I found Sherif, I went to Jimoliti. When the MC wanted to invite me to the podium to deliver a lecture, he said, Amakallah, the student of Rasulullah, is going to deliver lecture about Rasulullah within the family of Rasulullah. So within the family of Muhammad Rasulullah International Conference, global family, I will tell you now that تفرقوا شيئا أو تفرقوا شيئا وكل قبيلة فيها أمير المؤمنين ومنبر. The Islamic Ummah has visited OTP. وكل قبيلة, wherever you go now, you will see a mufti. Takfirism. There's one thing, internet, project takfirism. Calling everybody kafir. Kafir. Move there. The doctor saw that kind. Only the media has been in town committee. Only the killer could of they will condemn you. They must. Yes, sir. But that's the topic you let them. I'm going to possibly lock them. He wrote a letter. I was going to Mamiga. Put up I'm going to program every first Sunday of the month. Every first Sunday of the month. I'm going to program the money that's going to be topic for next month. Terrorism. They are terrorizing Muslims. And Muslims are also terrorizing one another. You are thinking he's praying regularly, he is doing salat, and you are telling him he's a kafir. What else? You are doing a massage, you go to nǹkan tó bá sí mi lọ́kàn sà ẹ̀yin mo pẹ̀lú sà nǹkan tó bá sí mi lọ́kàn ni pé wallahu a'lam mi ń ṣe deposit of knowledge. I'm not so vast like that, but mo kàn wípé tamani de doctor náà sọ lẹ́kàn kó tó sọ gbọ́dọ̀ lọ Muhammadu Rasulullah wallazina ma'ahu ashidda'u 'ala al-kuffar. Ashidda'u 'ala al-kuffar, it seems like a terrorism. Message yẹn dàbí terrorism. Ẹ jọ sọ fún àwọn ìyá wa Muhammadu Rasulullah, Muhammad the prophet of Allah, wallazina ma'ahu, and those that are with him, ashidda'u 'ala al-kuffar, they are so aggressive against the kafir. Is that not terrorism? That means it is not enough for you to read a translation and conclude that is the meaning. You have to be very, very careful. Now, it should be Muhammadu Rasulullah. Inu kéwú tẹ́ wọ́n kọ́ àwọn tọ́kọ́ àti onídìbò yìí. Inu kéwú tọ́kọ́ àti pé tàfídìn wọ́n tẹ̀ àhìr. Nínú èdè lábáwá, nǹkan tó fẹ́ sọ nígbà yìí, the object could be pushed forward before the subject. Sometimes the subject before the object. Ọmọ ìṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ní kéwú yàrá. Muhammadu Rasulullah. Wallazina ma'ahu. Huwa ma'u bainahum ashidda'u 'ala al-kuffar. Kasapa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tori Muhammadu Rasulullah, Muhammad the prophet of Allah. Wallazina ma'ahu, and those that are with him, ashidda'u 'ala al-kuffar. They are so stern, so aggressive against the kafir. But they are merciful, they are compassionate within themselves. That means Muhammad Rasulullah whenever the Ummah of Muhammad are compassionate, sitting like this happy, that thing will terrorize the kafir. But our school, secondary school also, in my secondary school and be. But now I like teacher mathematics. Teacher mathematics, but it will by. I should tell terrorism again. So high or bigger than this.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Please, what is the
I am Murtada Ali Baba, also known as Abi Omoto Murtada.
What is your profession?
Yes, I studied public admin, Moral State Polytechnic, 2026.
So, sir, can you please explain who is Muhammad for us?
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in a simple word, is the best mankind in all ramification. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the best example a human being can emulate in all ramification. That is why Allah said in the Holy Quran, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرَ وَذَكَرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So with this, what kind of advice can you give to those Muslim those who study Islamic studies, as they just study it without modern education?
Now, the advice is very simple. Like Sheikh Adam said in one of his books titled Al-Islam in Nigeria, he said, Al-Bay'a Taqlubul Adiba, environment creates a learning. Environment creates what you are in society. Now, a Muslim that want to be emulated should also emulate the Prophet Muhammad in oral education, in knowledge, in character. Now, because Islam, in one of Prophet Muhammad hadith, he said, Ad-Din Yusrun, Wala Yushadda Ad-Din Ahdun Illa Galabahu. Actually, that is a topic poem I'm going to deliver at this program this afternoon, God willing. Islam, titled Islam, the Religion of Peace. Prophet Muhammad is all about peace. And everyone, a student of Arabic, should showcase that peace in everything he does. Whether he studied that Arabic language, he studied other language, which is education, Western education, to boost his Arabic education. That peace should be in everything it does showcased so that Islam will be uplifted by him.
So, is there any difference in Arabic language and Islam? Is there any difference between both?
Of course, in terms of the language that puts education carry, that is different and that is dichotomy. Arabic education is not about religion, Allah, which is Islam. Western education is all about knowledge of this life that we have. In the day of judgment, you are not going to speak English before Allah. The only language we are made to know that we are going to speak in the day of judgment is Arabic. Whether you like it or not, you will speak Arabic before Allah. That is what Allah said. That is what Allah said in his Prophet Muhammad revelation, that Inna Allah yuhibbu al-arabiyya li thalathin li'annani arabiyyun wal Qur'anu arabiyyun wa kalamu ahli al-jannati arabiyyun aw arabiyyatun. I love Arabic. Prophet Muhammad said, I love Arabic for 3 reasons. 1, because I have an Arabic man. 2, the whole Quran is written in Arabic. 3rd, the language that every human being will speak before Allah in the day of judgment is Arabic. So there are differences between them. Arabic education and Western education, and both are encouraged. Muslims are encouraged to go for both in order to assist each other in propagating the religion of Allah, which is Islam.
Kama kuntu alia, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم طيب عربية بثلاثة أن يستطيع للذي يتكلم باللغة العربية وليس هو إسلام هل يستطيع أن دخل الجنة؟
الله سبحانه وتعالى الأمر بيد الله سبحانه وتعالى. أولا الصلاة عماد الإسلام، الصلاة عماد الإسلام، ولا فرق بين المسلم والكافر إلا الصلاة. ومن لم يصلي في الآيات فليس له فلا يدخل الجنة، لأن أول ما يحاسب يوم القيامة الصلاة. إذا صلحت الصلاة صلح له العمل كله، وإذا فسدت له الصلاة فسد له العمل كله.
وقد كنت عاليا إن لغة العربية لغة الإسلام، ولكن هناك أشخاص كثيرة يتكلم باللغة العربية وليسوا إسلاما. كيف الحديث الأمر أولى هذا؟
نعم، ممكن أن أتكلم باللغة العربية ولست مسلما. أساسا العربية لغة الإسلام، ولا يعني هذا أن من يتكلم بهذه اللغة مسلم. ممكن أن تتعلمها ولست مسلما. الذي ألف الموجد العالم هو ليس بمسلم، فكونه متفاهما بهذه اللغة لا يعني أنه مسلم. فالذي أنا أقول هو أن اللغة العربية هي شعار الإسلام، هي لغة الإسلام، كما أن الإنجليزية لغة الإنجليزيين، لغة الإنجليز لغة أوروب، وقد يرى العرب يتكلمون بالإنجليزية ويقال عنهم أوروبيون عبادة. كلا، كلا سبحانه كلا فكونوا من ليس مسلما كونوا متفاهما بهذه اللغة ومتكلما بها لا يعني أنه مسلم أو أن يكون وجب عليه أن يكون مسلما. لا، ممكن أن أتفهم بها ولا أكون مسلما، لكن مما لا داعي المجادلة والجدال هو أن اللغة العربية لغة الإسلام.
شكرا لكم. نريد منكم أن يدعوا
الجمعية الأولى المختارية العالمية
بلغة المالية.
الله يوبا طيب. أدوك فمولو الشيخ محمد irun tí àwọn bàbá wa Sheikh Ahmad Al-Mukhtar gẹ́gẹ́ bí orúkọ wọn the chosen irú ètò yìí ó wọ́n púpọ̀, orúkọ wọn dẹ̀ fi tí wọn ẹni ẹ̀ṣà ẹni tọ́lọ̀ yan the anointed, torí iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ṣe yí iṣẹ́ pé ẹni ọlọ́run ló ń yẹn ẹni. ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n kọ́ pè mí ta kọ́kọ́ wá ṣe Burdatul Nabi àwa àti àwọn àfọ àwa ṣùyùkù tí wọ́n jọ pé ń jọ náà Sheikh Al-Khalili, Sheikh Atefutu, Sheikh Habibullah Ọ̀làwúmi àtàwọn alájà wa láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn bàbá wa Fawban Adam tí a wá ṣe prógámù náà ní Fọláwíyọ́ Central Mosque mẹ́rin. Ó ní Sùúrùlérè prógámù yẹn náà dààmú wa ní ti dáadáa bí ẹgbẹ́ àwọn èèyàn ṣe náwó sójú ẹ̀rẹ̀sẹ̀ ọgbọ́n ṣe ń ṣègbìyànjú lójú ẹ̀sìn. Èyí tó wá dààmú mi jù òun ni azal barnamij láńlá ní mo dààmú púpọ̀, ó dààmú mi. Òyìnbó tó dààmú mi jù náà ni pé ọ̀dọ́ wọ́n tó yíwáyé pé àṣàbábù náà ó mílíọ̀nù jù náà àwọn òun á lo ọ̀dọ́ wọn ní ìlò bí ò ṣe dà tí ẹgbẹ́ tó bá ń lo bá ní ọ̀dọ́ ló ń ṣe, àwọn wá ń lo nílò bọ́lọ́run ṣe fẹ́ ká ló ní ìmọ̀ méjèèjì gẹ́gẹ́ bí n tẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n mi nìyẹn western education àti Arabic education táwọn sí Islamic education, àwọn wá kó méjèèjì pọ̀, wọ́n wá ń lo bí Ọlọ́run ṣe fẹ́ kí a lò, wọ́n ń lo pẹ̀lú amẹ́nà, wọ́n ń balaga risala, wọ́n wá adal amẹ́nà níbẹ̀. Ọlọ́run wọ́n sábà san wọ́n lẹ́sàn ẹ̀sán tó lè bá san wọ́n náà ní pé kó kún wọn, bó ṣe wá lè kún wọn náà ni àwọn ànsọ́rù tó ń darí sí wọn, àwọn tó tún wá fún ju àwọn ànsọ́rù tí ò ní ló ń ka Ọlọ́run bá sàmọ́ darí ẹ̀sìn wọn. Ọlọ́run kó mọ́ pé wọ́n ní ipa ọba tí ò pin ànábì tí wọ́n polówó káàkiri ayé tí ò pin nípa, Ọlọ́run mọ́ pé àwọn náà nípa wọlá tuntun rí Ọlọ́run wọlá hawla wọlá quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Muhammadun Rasulullah. Salaam.
Muhammadu Rasulullah. Muhammadu Rasulullah. During the days of my MC, my days as MC, I've conducted some kind of programs that I left the program in tears one day. They invited about 3 lecturers. The first one said Libati. The second one wasted our time saying one go. When the third one came, I thought you would change somehow. But to our surprise, he also did rubbish. We now waited almost 10 hours. I'm very sure there's nobody here that won't appreciate being here today. Nobody will be here today that won't gain 1 or 2 things. Alhamdulillah, I'm here. Alhamdulillah. Sheikh, even for knowing you, I'm glad. For seeing you, I'm glad. So I've listened to you. The first thing you have portrayed at first was that the fact that you were so patient enough to the extent that you took everything very simple. And their problem is that they don't have what to give. They don't have anything. So I will just go along. More people left so Obudu ti mú yẹn lọ lé o. Ẹni lọ pé wọ́n kí ó bí. Ẹgbọ́n lọ tóbi dáadáa. Adúlá kan ní í ṣe fún yín. Gbogbo tọ́lọ̀ fi ṣẹ̀sọ́ fún yẹn lọ́mọ ìjọba bàjẹ́. Nígbà tí wọ́n dákọ̀ yín ni àwọn ẹ̀yà kan ti ń tú yáyá ti ń tú yáyá. Ó fún àgbẹ̀ kékeré mi, mọ́mọ́ dì í ṣe ni. But nígbà tí mo pàdé ìbò wọn aṣàdúrà, kò fún mi lówó. Nígbà tẹ́lẹ̀ kan wá dé, wọ́n kò ní ní kan sí ńlá. Wọ́n wá ní Muhammadu wà láì ogun ogun ọ̀. wọ́n mọ̀ pé ìmọ̀ ẹ̀ appreciate kí ó ẹ̀jẹ̀ ìbí náà tẹ́lẹ̀ sàdúrà fún yín bóyá fún ìlú wa Amẹ́ríkà bismillahir rahmanir rahim ńlá àtẹnà kàkọ́sọ ọ̀sán ìlú ọ̀bí kàwáyà lẹ́sàáyà kàwáyà tán ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn ẹ̀ máa wò ó máa wò ó. About doctor and support Guinea, we can support him. All man say the same thing. They also watch one. I want to tell you about the game, but see, I don't to give our who are doing what they say. What I have to hear, like, no revelation was. Aha, ladies and gentlemen. Can you post out? One day I didn't do one more. Eric, I mean, Cinema with Tao. What a motive is it going to be compromised? You do one. Eh, sabi na àwọn ṣe káwọn olùkọ́ ṣe kó kọyún pàwọ́ ẹ̀. Bàbá ṣe káwọn olùkọ́ àwọn àti mọ́ wa ẹni wá fẹ́ràn àwọn kó dìde wọ́n tó wá fẹ́ràn ṣe káwọn olùkọ́ mọ́ ẹ̀ Alhaja Maria. Alhaja Maria, please come forward to present your point.
Okay, I'll get it right. The poem is titled The Man Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What do I say about the man Muhammad? For all has been said, not by mere mortals, no. Is the Most High's reverence not enough? Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. For indeed Allah and His angels confers blessings upon the prophets. So tell me, how do I sing the praise of He whom Allah the Almighty has commanded that the heavens and the earth chant never-ending praises upon? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. O you who have believed, cast blessings upon him and grant him peace. Then we chant, As-salatu wa salamun alayka ya Rosulullah. Peace and blessing be upon you, O Messenger of Allah. And at the mention of his name, Muhammad, we chorus, Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Blessings upon him and peace. Amen. True, I have heard stories, you have too, about angels and their light, jinns and their fire, man is clay, water and wheel. We all have heard tales of many great prophets and messengers of Allah. Abraham and his divine wisdom, Yusuf with his unmatched beauty, Isa and his holy miracles, and Moses, Savior of the children of Israel. Just a statement from Allah. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. We witness how Allah exalts Muhammad, his great character and personality. I know you know of how favored we are among the creatures of Allah. Perhaps I should tell of how the man Muhammad is the greatest blessing Allah has bestowed upon we Muslims since time past, now and beyond. لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما أنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. No other words ever made us feel more loved and favored. For our sufferings to be grievous to the most merciful of mankind, Muhammad. Now again I say, what do I say about the man Muhammad, whose life is a perfect model to live by, and his humility unequaled? Innama ana basharun mislukum. I am only a man like you. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Thank you.
My name is Rukoya Ayoks Omana.
Yawa ọmọ ànábì orúkọ wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ànábì wa Muhammad bí ẹ lè ṣàlàyé taníyà ànábì wa Muhammad ní ṣókí fún wa.
sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ali ìròyìn ànábì tó pọ̀ láyé. So amọ̀pẹ́ni tó pọ̀ lọ́la ni. So in fact, kò sí mi mọ adjective pé to qualify. I'm in love prophet. All I know is he's a true ruler of Islam. Alhamdulillah, I'm part of the success. Mo wà lára àwọn products ànábì wa Muhammadu Rosulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah.
Ẹ ṣeun ma, ń bọ níbi tá a wà yìí àti pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ níbà yìí?
A wà ní Lekki ní Oriental Hotel. Àwa fún Muhammadu Rosulullah International Conference.
Ta ló gbé àgbékalẹ̀ program àti pé ta ló lórí wọn ló kílẹ̀ lè sọ fún wọn pa ẹ̀?
Muhammadu Rosulullah bàbá family lọ́sí wa wá ní tẹ̀gbẹ́ kalẹ̀ náà ní bàbá wa Alhaji Sheikh Ahmed Al-Mukhtar.
Ẹ ṣeun ma, ẹ tí sọ fún wọn pa Alhaji Sheikh Al-Mukhtar, ẹ tí sọ fún wọn irú èèyàn wo ni wọ́n jẹ́ ní ṣojú ká má ní qualify wọn.
Qualification yẹn wà lágbára ní. Wọ́n jẹ́ olùdarí wa, wọ́n jẹ́ olùdarídá tó ń tọ́ wa sọ́nà nílànà ànábìwá Muhammadu Rasulullah sallallahu. Wọ́n dẹ̀ enlighten wa every day, every time, unlike olden days Islam. Now, wọ́n jẹ́ ká mọ̀ nípa ànábìwá, wọ́n dẹ̀ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀sìn tá à ń ṣe. As a matter of fact, almost every night, la máa ń learn more and more. Alhamdulillah, aṣíwájú rẹ̀.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí obìnrin, a ṣàkíyèsí pé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn forum, àwọn Islamic societies, obìnrin ló máa ń sábà ń pọ̀ jù. Ṣé ẹ lè sọ róòlù obìnrin ní àwùjọ Islam fún mi?
Àwa ni ìyá ayé àbá ọ̀dọ́ ṣe máa ń sọ, we are the mother of the world. Àwa náà ní it's a lot of women but àpò lóòótọ́ ṣe mọ̀ obìnrin náà la máa ń ní bí ẹ̀sìn ju ọkùnrin lọ. Ọkùnrin tẹ́ bá rí bí ẹ̀sìn gan-an bí àyàwó ẹ̀ ló motivated láti wá. So it is a very good thing because àwọn ọmọ náà máa emulate láti ara wa tí àwọn bá ń lọ bí tó dá àwọn náà máa lọ síbẹ̀. So a máa actually encourage àwọn ọkùnrin wa náà káwọn náà máa dìde sí ẹ̀sìn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn obìnrin ṣe ń gbé wọn.
Ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀ wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí yá ìwà yìí táwọn náà yálé lórí ní ká promote Islam. Kí ni advice ẹ ní fún akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ṣàdúrà fún wa?
Mashallah, the only advice I have is that we should actually fear Allah more than any other person. Kò sí ẹni tó wà worthy to be praised or to be worshipped tó ju Allah lọ. Bí ànábì ṣe wà láyé sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ànábì ti gbàgbọ́ àlùjọ náà lọ. Kí lànábì tó ṣe ànábì tó fi bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run sí? So kọ́tà ànábì dẹ̀ ṣe làwa náà ń ṣe yìí. So àrólé ànábì ni gbogbo wa láyé. So we should try and emulate from him because seeing me covering up, even if I'm not covering up, people actually know you are a Muslim. So you have to like lay good example to others. Let people see the beauty of Islam in you. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká jẹ́ Mùsùlùmí ká máa portray ìwà tánàbí òṣèlú. Àwọn Yorùbá ànábì láyé, so àrólé ànábì lájẹ́ láyé. So as a Muslim, it's our duty, it's our responsibility láti ṣe dáadáa so that àwọn èèyàn ti ara wa so àwọn owó everything tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yá lè dínkù because they will see you. Sometimes I máa ń ṣe nǹkan tí bá dẹ̀ ti ṣe tó máa ń praise máa ní àmì Muslim, you know, kán lè mọ̀ pé Mùsùlùmí ló ń ṣe nǹkan yẹn o. So nǹkan tá a máa ṣe tó máa ti Islam lójú ẹ jẹ́ ká represent ànábì bó ṣe yẹ ká represent ànábì as a Muslim. If you are a Muslim, you need to represent your beloved prophet the way you should, not just being a Muslim by mouth.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you, Ajar Oya, the only daughter of Prophet Muhammad.
Only daughter, Papa.
We really appreciate you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nice talking to you.
MashaAllah. By me looking at you, wow.
MashaAllah.
No, you buy it. You claim the copy, no problem. Keep it well for her. Alhamdulillah wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Page 66. A poem in a layman language titled Islam, a religion of peace. It is an old word, better put, an end time, where bloods are shed unjustly in the name of religion. Islam misconstrued. Indeed, thus painting the
white blood in the face of the world. But a rotten egg, no matter how hard it tries, cannot affect the unrotten. The world is bleeding to death day by day through misunderstanding. Of course, it can never be right to kill in the name of religion of God. The enemy of religion, the enemy of peace is not religion, but those who pursue the acts of terror and violence against the innocent in the name of religion. Islam as a concept, in case you don't know, is a religion of peace in the fullest sense of the word. The paths of peace as described by Allah, Quran 5:16. Any disturbance of peace is abhorred by Allah. Certainly, the root word of Islam is Islam, as-silm, udkhulu fi silmi kafa, which itself connotes peace. Apparently, the spirit of Islam is the spirit of peace. Yes, I agree with you that peace is not simply an absence of war. To Islam, peace is the rule and war is only an exception. If the result is doubtful, Muslims should avoid war, even in a defensive situation. Straight acts of aggression aren't enough for Muslims to rush into war, for war is always catastrophic in the end. Any act of violence, disobedience, disorderliness in the society should be done away with by good Muslims. Terrorism is never a characteristic of a Muslim. In fact, Islam frowns at it like pepper and ice. The terrorism sect Boko Haram of Nigeria is therefore a jihad in disguise. They kill brutally, terrorize unjustly, disturb coercively the peace of Christians in particular and Muslims in general in the country. Perplexed I am, and you too I guess, with the religious extremism of El Sasaki, with the Nigerian army that has branded.
أيها المشاهدون الكرام، معكم ياي تي في ممثل من قناة ياي، ونحن مع فضيلة الشيخ الإمام لا أذكر اسمه لكن سنسمع منه من فضيلته الاسمية.
Well, I'm the Honorable Commissioner for Home Affairs, Lagos State, and the Chief Imam, Lagos State House of Assembly Central Mosque.
Thank you very much. We can see from your position قد يعني تحيط بكل ما يتعلق بالعلوم الغربية حتى العربية. Can you kindly tell us the relationship of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Well, Alhamdulillah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as our leader, he represents a model for mankind. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam being the Prophet of Allah sent to us to guide us. So every aspect of our life, be it our political life, our economic life, our family life, societal life, everything is covered in the conduct of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So somebody who wants to be a Muslim politician, for instance, must be an ideal Muslim politician as taught by Muhammad sallallahu, who was not aggressive about power, who knew that power belongs to Allah, and who exhibited the greatest ethical standard even in assuming power, and also was very tolerant of people of other religion, and he exhibited characters of integrity, decency, honesty, trustworthiness, because that's why he was referred to as Al-Amin, as a trustworthy person. All we need in our nation, for instance, is taqwa. You know, if we have the fear of Allah, and our mind is addressed to the destination that we are set for, which is Al-Jannah, we know Allah is going to hold us accountable, so that we should demonstrate the best form of charity to humanity, generosity to the people, honesty and accountability. More than anything, integrity matters, and that is why today Muhammad sallallahu remains the best example for mankind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Laqad kana lakum fi rasulillahi uswatun hasana." The best example for you is in Muhammad. So we urge Muslim politicians, economic transaction practitioners, family members, husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, children, societal movers, emulate the best man who has touched every facet of life so that we can be the best.
Thank you very much. For the sake of those watching us, inú wa dùn púpọ̀ bí àwọn bàbá lè ṣàlàyé fún wa torí wípé kéwù ń bẹ lára wọn wọ́n mọ kéwù àmọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ láyé ìsìn wọn ò fẹ́ kọ́ mọ kéwù so bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wà yìí ẹ lè wọ ẹni kúbi ẹ̀ tó bá wù yín tẹ́lẹ̀ ti sọ èdè èèbó náà bẹ́ẹ̀ ti sọ yìí ẹ wá ṣàlàyé fún wa kí ni ìmọ̀ràn tẹ́lẹ̀ fún gbọ́ wọn tó ń wò wá tí wọ́n ń discourage tí wọ́n fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wọn kí wọ́n mọ ìmọ̀ tọ́lọ̀ pápá
ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa lọ mọ̀ yìí pé ọ̀gá gbogbo ìmọ̀ òun ni ìmọ̀ Al-Qur'an, ìmọ̀ àdìsá náà Muhammad, ìmọ̀ ìgbésí ayé ànábì, ìmọ̀ sírọ̀, ìmọ̀ fíkìú, ìgbàgbọ́ yẹ́sì. Gbogbo wa tá a gba BSc, tá a gba LLM, tá a gba MSc, tẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ̀ ń tá a wá ṣe láyé ìgbé yọ̀dà. Ẹ jẹ́ ká darí àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n bá ti ń kàwé kí wọ́n kéwú. Kí kéwú yẹn wá jù mí lọ kó lè fún ìwé nítumọ̀. Torí pé yìí ní òjì àmọ́ tá a wá ṣe ilé ayé. Nígbà tó bá yẹ pé ilé la kọ́, ìgbà àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n kọ́ náà dálẹ̀ yìí. Tó bá jẹ́ ọmọlábí la dálẹ̀ yìí. Ẹ̀kọ́ Islam ni ó jẹ́ àgbọ́yé pé ìjọsìn la wá ṣe láyé, kò ní jẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ máa fọwọ́ òsì júwe ilé bàbá rẹ̀. Gbogbo tó bá ń kó dà láyé yóò máa bẹ lábẹ́ àsíá Ọlọ́run, Ọlọ́run máa ṣàìṣe lọ́run.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ okùnfà wíwá yín níbí báyìí tí wọ́n ní Muhammadu Rasulullah, ẹ ṣàdúrà fún iléeṣẹ́ wọn àti iléeṣẹ́ Yayi TV sàn.
Àwọn dúpẹ́ fọlọ́run ọba Yayi TV ẹ ti gbé dáadáa dání dáadáa tẹ́ gbé dání Ọlọ́run kò ní jẹ́ gbélẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ti ní ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu in tansurullaha yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. Èyí tẹ́ gbọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba gbọ́ ẹ bá ti ránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ọba ṣe Ọlọ́run ní màá ràn yín ṣe màá tún fẹsẹ̀ yín múlẹ̀. Àtàwọn tí wọ́n gbé ètò Muhammadu Rasulullah ilẹ̀ àti Yayi TV àtúbọ̀tán yẹn Ọlọ́run yóò dá Ọlọ́run yóò dá aláyé yóò dá alálẹ̀ kìámà. Assalamu alaikum.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. حمدا موافيا لنعمه ومكافيا لمزيده. الحمد لله الذي أنعم علينا وهدانا إلى الإسلام. الحمد لله على كل حال. فرضوان الله أكبر على أوليائه الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I am highly honored and delighted to be in the gathering that it seems there is none like it, the gathering of Rosulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But before I proceed, it's going to be, I promise you it's going to be a summary, inshallah. But before I proceed, because every speaker that I was opportuned to listen to, they've all came in through the door of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm sure our Sheikh that we came because of him, he won't say no to me if I want to enter through that symbol, which is the Bible of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ní ṣókí gbàdé yẹ pé Èkó la wà, àti ní UK àti ní America. Èmi náà á fẹ́ gba ìyànda pé kí n gba ẹnu ọ̀nà aṣọ́jà dáná bá mọ̀ wọlé. Afá mi ayé ẹ máa postpone interview ṣé a máa jò ẹ máa jà á jà. Torí mò ń gba ìyànda lọ́wọ́. yàn dà fún ẹja gbàbí mo láyà wọlé káwọn èèyàn mọ̀ sùn lórí ìjòkó mo láyà sọ ní wàṣẹ́ lè mọ́ dáàkì mọ́lẹ̀ àbàdà
من الأول مقتربا
Muhammadu Rasulullah, Muhammadu Rasulullah, Muhammadu Rasulullah, Muhammadu Sayyidul Kawnayni wa Thaqalaini wal Bahrayni min ulumi wa min ajami.
We have traveled far and near, not because of anything. If Sheikh Mukhtar is going to start to pay every one of us, I count few Americans here. You can't pay their fee. You can't pay their travel ticket. We have some people from the UK as well. If we count numbers, at least I can count about 10. I'm sorry. But everyone, we come from far and near, not because of anything. Hubu Rasul. But before I proceed, I would like to start with the word of Rasulullah that said, Man lam yashkuruna salam yashkurullah. The first thing is to thank the organizers of this event, starting from our Sheikh, our humble Sheikh Hamad. Do you know what? I envy his name a lot. You can't throw away any of them. Is it the Hamad you want to throw away? Never. Is it the Mukhtar? Diego? Is it the Bukhari? Then how would you know Islam? Or is it the Ibrahim? May Allah elongate his life. And as part of that, I would like to thank my mother. Out of the love of Rasulullah as well. She never knew where I was going. But when she said, who are you? I said, Muhammadu. I said, Muhammadu Rasulullah. And that is one of my mothers and the beautiful daughter of Maulana Sheikh Islam Sayyidatana Halima Muhammad al-Hawai. If you want to see her outside, oh my dear, you have to buy a below. She will start to buy to be more to what a way to buy. I think one was in here because perspective of the Prophet towards the welfare of women and children. And I'm talking about women. pray, I promise you, inshallah. After I have done that, and I'll thank the organizers of this event, and I would like to tell you that, please, we want more of this. When I was growing up in Lekki, I normally tell myself that why is to all Afa must they wear agbada? So the first challenge I gave to myself was that okay, Afa to ba wa shirt and trouser ni mo ma fẹ́. That's just to tell you that we have to learn to do things differently. So I congratulate our father, and I congratulate the women, our mothers, who stood by the work of Allah. You are not standing by him. You are standing because of the love of Allah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the love of Rosulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I bet you if the name has not had Rosulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in it, some of us who donated 50,000 naira to buy a seat or a chair, we just tell you, you know, very women. So over to call Allah Rasulullah. I know go lórí YouTube jare ai mo ya fa lo ti wà lórí YouTube. Àmọ́ Ọlọ́run tí ó fi yín ṣàánú ayé. Fahida li amon illa li amon masha Allah. Tí bá lè máa sọ̀rọ̀ àfà, a lè ṣe wáàsí. Èmi ò wá ṣe wáàsí lé ní mi báyìí, mo wá kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni. Nígbà tó ń pè mí sáàárín àwọn teachers mi, I met my lecturer while I was in the university on 6th, Dr. Timeyin. When they said Dr. Timeyin, it was ringing in my brain. But Dr. No Laba, one back our last in the 2000s now. But then we were last in 99. Doctor, you know. Why would this? Someone now no receipt Muhammadu Rosulullah International Conference. They want to have affirmation. I'm not surprised. Oh, I don't think you need back, but we go to what let me tell you. Mo pe de bi Ọlọ́run ti wala nle bi o ti di ai. O le ba pe mo se ri fún gbogbo wa náà ni. The topic is perspective of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam towards the welfare of women and children. Initially, it was supposed to be towards the welfare of women. Then I said, women are incomplete. We are here for a purpose. We are not just sex machinery. And we are not just baby factories. What Allah has made us for is far, far, far more than that. One of those ways that you can showcase whether you have come to this world and you have lived for a purpose, you have the right legacy.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Wa alaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baba ẹjọ́ kí ni orúkọ yín? Alhamdulillah, orúkọ mi ni Alhaj Abdul Fattah Ọlásùnkànmí Ògúnlẹ̀yẹ. Báwo wá ni ẹ ṣe jẹ́ sí ìjọ Al-Huda? Ní chairman Al-Huda Al-Muqtariyah International Prayer Mission. Alhamdulillah, ní chairman bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wí a rí pé ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ oníwèé òun ni. Kí ni àwọn ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ oníwèé ipa wo la fẹ́ máa kó nínú àwọn society Islam? Ǹjẹ́ ẹ lè ṣàlàyé díẹ̀ fún wa?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Tí a bá wo ẹ̀kọ́ àti ìmọ̀ l'Ọlọ́run fi gbé láyé kalẹ̀. Látorí Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tí gbogbo wa mùsùlùmí tá a gbà fún tá a tẹ̀lé. Nígbà tí Ọlọ́run kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ fi ètò ilé ayé tó fẹ́ fi lé Rasulullah lọ, ìmọ̀ ló kọ́kọ́ tì síwájú. Ó ní kà ètò jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tó gba Prophet lójijì pé èmi tí mi kọ́ báwo jẹ́ fẹ́ kà. Ọlọ́run fi yé wa mbà yẹn pé a gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ ìmọ̀ tá a bá mọ̀ a máa fi kọ́ ètò tí gbèsè ayé máa fi máa lọ sí gbogbo. So eléyìí pé wá ní oní kò sẹ́ni tó mọ Ọlọ́run ọba ló mọ̀, but notwithstanding ó jẹ́ nǹkan òwúrí fún wa pé Ọlọ́run kó wa ti aṣáájú rere tó jẹ́ Alhaj Ahmad Ibrahim Kari tó jẹ́ pé láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí Ọlọ́run ti jẹ́ ká máa bá wọn rìn, wọ́n jẹ́ ká mọ rírì impact tí àwa gan ní láti lè darí ilé ayé nípa wúwà dáadáa. So ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn ló tún adé gbogbo ilé ìta tún gbé sílẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ tèmi.
Sọ adúpẹ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́ ní ẹ̀kọ́ yìí, ǹjẹ́ ẹ lè fún wa ní àpẹẹrẹ ẹyọ kan àbí méjì èyí táwọn ará alé àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ tí wọ́n lè jàǹfààní ẹ̀ lára yín. Gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ pátápátá ànàpẹ̀rẹ̀ ilé ayé gbogbo ẹ ti sodo sínú aṣáájú wa Muhammadu Rasulullah sallallahu. Dáadáa bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí pé ká ṣe dáadáa sọ́mọ ìyá wa, ẹ̀sìn wa nítumọ̀ tí ò bá bá dáadáa wa. So ètò tá a gbé kalẹ̀ lẹ́nu tí a fi pèrí Muhammadu Rasulullah International, a fẹ́ mú ẹ̀kọ́ látara ìgbésí ayé aṣáájú ẹ̀dá. Báwo ni a ṣe lè fi gbogbo àyè tó lọ́n fi wá sí láyé, báwo la fi lè fi ṣe àǹfààní fún àwọn èèyàn, báwo la ṣe lè ran ọmọnìkejì wa lọ́wọ́. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń kírun, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń ṣe náà tó tọ́, bọ̀ ipa wo ní dídá wa tó ní lára gbogbo àwọn alábàágbé wa. Ìjà lé ní ìjà lọ́la, ṣé bí Rasulullah bó ṣe gbé ìgbésí ayé nígbà tí ẹ̀ lónìí, ibo láti gẹ̀ẹ́tì ẹ̀ rọ̀mù tọ́rọ̀ tó wá ṣe ń rí báyìí. Ara àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tá a kọ́ táwa náà fẹ́ máa sẹ́ndì sáwọn èèyàn tó ń gbọ́ wa lé lórí. So alhamdulillah, pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn tá a pè tí wọ́n wá dá wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lé ní pẹ̀lú ilé táwa náà ti ń bábọ̀ ní àyè tiwa, ó fi yé wa wípé kò sí Rasulullah sallallahu jẹ́ kó yé wa wípé àti lè pè ní mùsùlùmí dáadáa àti àfìgbà tó bá fẹ́ fún ara ẹ̀ nǹkan tó fẹ́ fún ọmọ rà kejì ẹ̀kọ́ yìí náà tó lọ́tọ̀. So wàá fẹ́ encourage dáadáa sí ọmọ ìyá wa, being Christian, being any other, ẹni tí yóò bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sìn wa, ó tún yẹ ká tún wá ṣe dáadáa sí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, ká lè portray ẹ̀sìn wa ní ti dáadáa síwájú sí. adúpẹ́lẹ́ bọ̀lá àwọn máa wá kẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣàdúrà fún ìjọ àlèwúdà lápapọ̀ lórí àgbègbè tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ àti iléeṣẹ́ Yayi TV, wọ́n máa wá kẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣàdúrà fún. Alhamdulillah, àdúrà ti bá yín, Ọlọ́run adé máa ṣàlékún gbígbà àdúrà fún yín. Ọpẹ́ lèmi máa dún fún Ọlọ́run tó gbé olólùfẹ́ ànábì Muhammadu Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi in the person of my sheikh Alhaji Ahmad Buhari al-Mujah. Ṣé rí tọ́lọ́mbà a lè sọ pé Ọlọ́run ló ń dáyàn pé Ọlọ́run ló ń fún yàn ṣe. So mo dúpẹ́ fún wọn gangan gẹ́gẹ́ bí àtẹ̀lé táwa náà ń ṣe fún wọn, gbogbo àpẹẹrẹ tá a rí lára wọn. Ó fi jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé gbogbo owó bá ṣe ń fẹ́ fọ́mọ alákejì ẹ̀ a máa padà wá bá ọ̀nà gẹ́gẹ́ bí. So kò fún wa ní èrò láti ro burúkú rárá. So láti ipa yẹn ni a fi wá gbogbo wa sí abẹ́ gbígbàdúrà tó ní pé àti ilé wa àtọ́nà wájú gbogbo wa fi sílẹ̀, Ọlọ́run ní fàbúrú. Ìjọ Al-Huda Al-Mutaria International Prayer Mission, ìjọ Muhammadu Rasulullah Global Family tí Ọlọ́run fi Sheikh mi Ahmad Buhari ṣolùdarí wọn, ìjọ náà ò ní tú láéláé. Ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ lílé ìyá ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìn Ọlọ́run. À ń bẹ lọ́run pẹ̀lú àlùbáríkà ọjọ́ èmi àti àlùbáríkà gbogbo ìgbà pé gbogbo ibi tí ìmọ́lẹ̀ ìjọ náà kàn dé, ìmọ́lẹ̀ ò ní ṣókùnkùn láéláé. Gbogbo ibi tó wá wù wá lọ́kàn, gbogbo ata ń tẹ̀lé bàbá náà láti dé ní ti dáadáa, Ọlọ́run àgbà fún gbogbo wa. Àtẹ̀yìn tẹ́ kún wa lọ́wọ́ àti Yayi TV àti gbogbo àwọn other media houses àti gbogbo àwọn tá a pè sí ètò ìlú ìlóyìn tí wọ́n fi lé wọn fọ̀nà wọn lẹ̀. Ẹlòmíì wá láti Amẹ́ríkà torí Rosulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ẹlòmíì wá láti London, ẹlòmíì wá láti Canada. Báwo ni ìfẹ́, báwo ni ìyẹn ẹ̀ bá ṣe tó? A ní ìkọ̀kọ̀ tá a lè fi ojú ká dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run bá wa dúpẹ́ fún jùlọ ìlànà. 1 naira lẹ́nu 2 naira tẹ́nu ni ìlọ́po ní ti dáadáa lọ́lọ́ máa fi dá padà fún. Adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run bá wa dúpẹ́ fún. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Kí ni orúkọ rẹ̀?
Orúkọ tèmi ni Adákẹ́rọ̀ Abdulsalam Paradise.
Adákẹ́rọ̀ Abdulsalam. Bàbá, kí ni èròǹgbà àbí kí ni ìtumọ̀ Adákẹ́rọ̀ yìí kí ó lè yé àwọn ará yìí?
Ẹni tí ní ìtumọ̀ ní pípé òní wípé ẹni tí ó yan ìmọ̀ dárúkọ náà, ìmọ̀ yan Ànábì Muhammad publicly fún àwọn ènìyàn.
Bàbá, kí ni eléyìí fẹ́ ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sìn Islam àti pé ipa wo ló fẹ́ kó nínú àwùjọ Islam?
Ipa ńlá púpọ̀ ló kó, gẹ́gẹ́ bí wípé ní àgbáyé àwọn ohun tí entertainment tó kún púpọ̀ nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn. So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọ́n kùnà tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ refresh ẹ̀mí wọn pé kí ni ó lè mú wọn súnmọ́ Ọlọ́run. So wọn ò rí àwọn gbólóhùn tó lè máa yí ẹ̀mí wọn àrí gbọ́ púpọ̀ mọ́. So yìí máa dárúkọ Ọlọ́run ó jẹ́ nǹkan tí ó máa ń tani jí tó dẹ̀ tún máa ń súnni mọ́ àti máa rántí Ọlọ́run lóòrèkóòrè yàtọ̀ sí gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí èèyàn lè máa fetí gbọ́ tó máa bá ọkàn jẹ́ tó dẹ̀ máa bà gbàgbọ́ ẹni jẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìsúnmọ́ lọ.
kó tó di pé ẹ bá wa fi orúkọ Ọlọ́run ẹ fi pe Yayi TV ǹjẹ́ lè mú nǹkan wá nínú àwọn díkìrì tẹ́ ti ṣe.
mélòó la fẹ́ kàbọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ báyìí tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ mí mọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ ó ní pé mo ní ọ̀làní ìlànà ìmọ̀lẹ́ nàbí Muhammadu lakaina Rosulullah ọ̀làní ìlànà ìmọ̀lẹ́ nàbí Muhammadu lakaina Rosulullah mo ní ilẹ̀ tẹ́sùn tó tí ó oṣù àlùbáríkà oṣù tí a bí ànábì wa Muhammadu sáyé ọjọ́ ìdùnnú tó ti gbé àsìkò ayọ̀ tó ti gbé fún gbogbo mi ní mú mi náà mo rí bí wà ní mo rí dá bẹ́ẹ̀.
inú mi lọ kódà ohun yìí ohun kan ni tí inú Ọlọ́run ọba náà máa dùn ó máa ń wà bí ò tiẹ̀ ní ju gbólóhùn kan lọ kẹ́ ẹ bá wa fún Yayi TV.
Yayi TV àkọ́kọ́ ni pé inú mi dùn pé Ọlọ́run gbé yín kalẹ̀ ní ẹni tí ó jẹ́ ẹni tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwa mùsùlùmí tá a máa rí bí olùgbé àwọn nǹkan ẹ̀sìn jáde onílé iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí iléeṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó parí tó bá bẹ̀ ẹ máa sọ pé Yayi la ilaha illallah Yayi la ilaha illallah tó bá ní Yayi fàárí ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ fàákàrò oní Yayi tá bá ní Yayi ta ní fàákàrò sí bọ́lọ̀ ní Yayi Ọlọ́run ní àwọn ìdájẹ́ Yayi Ọlọ́run ajẹ́ ìrìnṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ajẹ́ ìtọ́lọ̀ ń fi yan gàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ̀dá rẹ̀ tó dá ló fi jẹ́ pé ilé iṣẹ́ tó rọrùn tó dùn láti fọkàn tán láti gbọ́ aṣáfẹ́fẹ́ onílé iṣẹ́ tó máa Yayi nǹkan tá a bá ń ṣe ló fi jẹ́ pé Yayi la ilaha illallah Yayi la ilaha illallah Ọlọ́run ní kékeré iṣẹ́ náà parí ọ̀rọ̀ fáànà mọ́kànlá àlẹ́ ìgbà.
أمامكم ممثل من قناة Yayi fún àǹfààní gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ wa láti lè ṣe Yayi TV ní àtiwá ṣùgbọ́n yóò dùn mọ́ wa púpọ̀ kí ẹ dárúkọ yín fún gbogbo ara lé gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń wò yìí.
Orúkọ mi Hamdallah bint Muhammadu.
wọ́n ti wà yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn researches dájú a rí pé barista ni wọ́n àmọ́ wọn fi síwájú ìyẹn tí wọ́n gbọ́ bí ẹ̀kọ́ fún wa ní ìtẹríba kí Ọlọ́run kó bá wa tó tì í kí ni tó gbé yín dé àyè yìí àti pé kí ni ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ń bíbà yìí gangan ní dédé wákàtí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí.
ìròyìn aṣáájú ẹ̀rẹ́ náà Muhammad ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ibi báyìí àwọn ìjọ tí wọ́n dẹ̀ pè wá wọ́n ń jẹ́ Muhammadu Rosulullah àfáà náà wọ́n jọ mí lójú púpọ̀ láti bí orúkọ tí wọ́n kọ́kọ́ mú torí Ọlọ́run bá tó ní wá tó kàǹkà gan wọ́n ní tọ́lọ́ngọ̀ ò bá fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan tó bá ti fa aṣáájú ẹ̀rẹ́ náà Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gbogbo kìíní Ọlọ́run á máa jù ú lẹ̀ so kéèyàn wá máa bá aṣáájú ẹ̀rẹ́ jọ ń kọ̀ kan tó wá pè wá wọ́n ní gbogbo tó fẹ́ máa sọ níbi ilé ní ìròyìn aṣáájú ẹ̀rẹ́ náà Muhammad ànábì tó bẹ̀ ànábì gbọ̀ngbọ̀ ó kàǹkà tí gbogbo ayé bá mọ rírì ànábì ni wàláì kò ní sí wàhálà nínú ayé ó jẹ́ ẹni tó dùn mọ́ mi púpọ̀ láti fly him kí n dẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn ní ibi báyìí.
alhamdulillah adúgbò fún mi púpọ̀ a rí pé anabuwa Muhammad aṣáájú ayé ìtọ̀run ká kó wọn jáde a rí pé àwọn kan lẹ́fàrátì àwọn kan ni wọ́n kọ́ ilé lẹ́yìn bàtà wá ṣe báàsù wà dáadáa a rí pé maulana sheikh muqaddam Muhammad al-awwal àyìnlá ọ̀tọ̀ lóyìn ilẹ̀ farakín àmọ́ àwọn kan bẹ́ẹ̀ ní tí wọ́n mẹ́ni tí ẹni tí ò bá ti ẹ̀ mọ̀ wọ́n ń parọ́ ni àwọn afẹ́lẹ́nu yín wọ̀jíìzà nípa bàbá yìí.
àwa ló ní ooo àwa ló ní àwa ló ní ooo àwa ló ní ẹni tọ́lọ́run ṣàlẹ́ṣà àwa ló bàbá ọba ṣàrí bàbá wa Mọ́lánà Sheikh Islam aláìsí kàtàkì.
Radiyallahu ta'ala anhu.
Àkọ́kọ́ dúpẹ́ pé ìran Yorùbá ni bàbá ń jẹ́. Ní ìgbà tí bàbá kéwú tán tí wọ́n ṣe gbogbo ìgbìyànjú, bàbá tí wọ́n tẹ̀síwájú nínú látara ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run àti ìfẹ́ aṣáájú ọ̀dà náà ló tún sọ wọ́n di ọmọ kí o ṣe Alhaji Ibrahim Inyas. Ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́mi wá kọ́ lára Mọ̀lánà Alhaji Ibrahim Inyas ni pé àtọkùnrin àtobìnrin nínú ilé ibẹ̀ wàláhì akẹrin. Ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn bàbá wa import ẹ̀ láti odidi ọ̀nà jíjìn yẹn wọ́n wá mú wá sílẹ̀ yìí. Torí nínú ìran Yorùbá olú ọmọ lọ́dọ̀ tí wá púpọ̀ nínú ìgbà máa ń jọkùnrin. Àmọ́ lọ́dọ̀ bàbá wa lóṣòdì ní tèmi fẹ́ jẹ́ kó máa jàǹfààní fún gbogbo kó wa torí parent ni gbogbo wa náà. Òun ni pé a máa ń lo slogan kan wípé rìjálù náà kàrìjálù àwọn ìsáàwù náà kàrìjálù. Ìyẹn ní pé ṣe rí ìyáláyà ọkùnrin lọ́dọ̀ bàbá wa Mọ́lánà Sheikh Islam Àyìnlá ọ̀tọ̀ ló rìn. Ọkùnrin wọn ní ó ṣe déédéé ẹgbẹ̀rún ọkùnrin. Wọ́n tún wá ní ṣe àwọn obìnrin lọ́dọ̀ àwọn akọni ni wọ́n akọni. Téèyàn bá dẹ̀ wò lóòótọ́ àrí pé kò sáṣàdànù nínú gbogbo ohun tí bàbá tọ́ àtàfàrà bí àfẹnubí àfi gbogbo nǹkan bí àfi wìláyà bí pàápàá. So ìyẹn ń jẹ́ ṣàrí téèyàn bá dẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ pé ẹjẹ́ alọ́kọ script nípa bàbá ìyẹn tún jìnnà àní ẹjẹ́ amú tó súnmọ́ ká fi wé ní tí ò súnmọ́ ẹjẹ́ amú nta lè rí ká fi gbèsègbè nta rí lára living witness náà ní irú àtàdúró síwájú yìí wà téèyàn bá tiẹ̀ ń ròyìn èèyàn wọ́n sọ pé bàbá wa Mọ́lánà Sẹ́ẹ̀dì Ali Cisse máa ń sọ bí nìkan wọ́n ní orọ́mọ ẹkùn olóòrẹ́kùn ìwọ ò ṣe dúró tí iná gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ wàá tó wá mọ̀ bóyá ṣé ẹkùn ọmọ yàtọ̀ sí ti màmá ni àbí bàbá ẹkùn lẹkùn jẹ kọ́lọ́n kó dàpọ̀ kó wọlá ọ̀rọ̀ bàbá tẹ̀lé yìí kó túbọ̀ bá wa lé bàbá náà kún nínú kẹ́ àti ìwọ̀nù kó káwa náà wá tara àwọn bàbá kó tún kó lé àwa náà kún nínú.
Jazakillahu kullal khair bilwajiz aidan as a woman the way everything is going to make a speech giving lectures is not that easy. So what advice can you give the women that are discouraged and don't think there's any goodness in giving lectures in Arabic knowledge, in Islamic knowledge?
Well, in that respect, what I would like to say is that whatever your field is, never give up. You can be a housewife, you can think the only job you can do is to look after the children, and there's no other good about you. Even looking after the children on its own is a massive job. You see, it's a massive job in the sense that when you are not there, when you are no more, these children are a true replicate of who you are or what you stand for. If that's the case, whatever we are doing as a woman, never under-relegate yourself that this is where I can reach, or this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. You see? So whatever we are doing as a woman, we should know that the world needs us more than anybody else. Even the Prophet ﷺ has told us that if you successfully raise one woman, you have successfully raised the whole generation. If that's the case, why do women want to think my impact is not needed? You see, in the society, whether it's at home, if you live in a shared apartment, you live in a bulk of flats, make sure you are an exemplary Muslim woman, because the whole world out there is watching. They are looking out there. If a Muslim woman is holding a pure water, and somebody who is not a Muslim woman is holding a pure water, the eyes is more on the eyes of the Muslim woman holding a pure water sachet. People want to see what's the etiquette you have. Are you going to hold it with your right hand or left hand? What are you doing with that? So if we know that the world is watching, and
I would like to end this speech because I know the organizers are asking. So I would like to say that whatever we are doing, you should know that we shall be called to account one day. And because you are a woman, it's not a privilege that Allah is not going to ask you. You know, whatever question is asked from the men is going to be asked of the woman. So if we know that, it means that our piety and the fear of Allah we display wherever we are should be of the highest order.
Thank you very much. Nous remercions nos frères et sœurs qui nous regardent actuellement. Nous avons ici notre madame qui est de Manchester. Elle est au Nigeria ici pour donner prêche sur l'importance des femmes du monde. Qu'Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala soit avec elle. Jazakillahu pour la khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm Mariam Kalban, Noble Heart. Yeah, I use that name, it's a nickname. I use it as my pen name for poetry. I use it as my name of my foundation, and you know, it's kind of just Noble Heart. Yeah.
We are so interested about that. Can you briefly tell us what is Noble Heart Foundation and what is it all about, the objectives and your activities?
Oh well, it's a children foundation that is one focused on child welfareism, the promotion and you know, promoting child welfareism in the country through diverse means. That is, we have the education, we have the socio-economic, we have the health. So those are our key areas where we use to promote child welfareism. And the full name is actually Noble Heart Children Foundation. So, and basically we do a lot of projects ranging from those aspects I've mentioned, and which cuts across a particular year. That is, for each quarter of the year we have a project which is you know, focused on a particular aspect, either on health or on education or on socio-economic.
Thank you very much. Does this foundation have any relationship with Islam?
It's actually non-partisan. We focus on children of all age, tribes, religion. It's not particular to Islam alone. So it's just for children generally. It's not particular to any religion or race.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Where are we right now, and what is happening here?
We are at the Muhammadu Rosulullah conference, and I think it's a conference aimed at promoting the nobility and the character of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And it's so far it's interesting. You know, there are lots of lecturers here, and I've been enjoying the lectures of Dr. Saitime, Imam Hablakim, Latif, and a host of others, you know, a whole lot of them. I'm here to recite a poem of mine, and I hope I get to do so because there are lots of lectures and there's a little time. So it's interesting so far. I'm enjoying the event, and thanks to Yayi TV, you guys are doing an awesome job.
Thank you very much.
All right.
In one or two words, can you describe who Prophet Muhammad is?
I wish everybody watching this is actually here at the event, so I would not have to do that again. You know, he is someone who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because I don't know how else to describe him beyond the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He already said, apart from the one where he said that, you know, local kind of Rosulullah. So that is, he's the best, like we should emulate him, he's the best of all. And then there is the other one where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, so basically it's just that, he's the best of mankind, he's the, you know, he's the one we're meant to use as a role model and all that. So that's just it.
Okay, thank you very much. What we can ask you right now is it's very rare in this kind of gathering, see Muslim women. So, you know, most of them, they don't value religious activities. What advice can you give to fellow women on there, Muslim women?
Well, like we all know, faith is nothing static. That is, it keeps, you know, it fluctuates. It's goes up and then come down, and then goes up and then come down. So you have to just keep striving. It's a continuous striving process. You keep striving. You don't just relax and just feel like, oh, I'm down today. Like I do not offer my salat, so I don't want to keep offering it, or Allah SWT will accept my salat. So you just have to keep striving. That's just it basically. You keep striving, keep trying to pray. If you sin, you go back to Allah. He's there, you ask for forgiveness and repentance, and then He's there for you. Just keep striving. Don't just give up on yourself.
Thank you very much. From our research, we discovered you are related to the erudite and renowned Islamic scholar Sheikh Adam Abdullah. Is this true? And how are you related to him?
Okay, so he's my grandfather. That is my paternal grandfather. He's my dad is daddy. Let me use that word.
Who's your dad?
My dad is Tauban Adam.
Tauban Adam.
Yeah, so I am Maryam Tauban. So yeah.
Thank you very much. So prayer for the
come on, you guys are doing an awesome job, and I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to be your guardians and fortress, and may He continue to make this a very easy thing for you. May He put barakah in it, like loads of barakah, because the truth is you need that, you need more of it, you need to be more, you need, like, it's a brand already, so may Allah just put His barakah so it will be a full-blown and well-known brand.
Thank you. جزاك الله خيرا. نشكر الأخت الكريمة التي ألقى كلمتها. ندعو الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يطول عمرها بالعافية والسلامة. Chers frères et sœurs, à la maison, je suis avec la petite fille de notre cher Adam Abdullah Al-Ilori. Elle s'appelle Mariam. C'est elle qui a la fondation Noble Hearts Television Foundation. Merci beaucoup. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أمامكم ممثل من قناة ياي. ما اسمكم الكريم؟
عبد الغفار الشيخ السادس.
الشيخ عبد الغفار، نرحب بكم في هذا المؤتمر العالمي. حياكم الله. من الأسئلة الأول، ما سبب مجيئكم هنا؟
اولا لاجتهادي منظم هذا البرنامج الشيخ مختار. لما اتصل بي في اول مره والله عرفت انه ليس فيه وقت كثير، لكن لاجتهاده وحركاته الاسلامي والتطور الاسلامي وهذه الجمعيه محمد رسول الله، لذلك أحتسب أنه لا بد لأن أحضر في هذا المجتمع.
جزاكم الله خيرا.
آمين وإياكم.
وما سبب، يعني لاحظنا أن في عصرنا هذا المسلمون تأخرون، ما سبب تأخر المسلمين في العالم في هذا العصر وغير المسلمين يتقدمون؟
تأخرون في أي ناحية؟ هناك نواحي كثيرة في الدينية أو في السياسية أو في الاجتماع أو
يقول حتى في الدين، يعني بعض المجالات أغلب النواحي كما يقال بتكنولوجيا وما أشبه، حتى السياسة المسلمون لا يريدون هذا.
لذلك إذا سمعت ما قال الدكتور عبد الحكيم بأن كثيرا من المسلمين هم يفرون من السياسة، لأن في اعتقادهم أن السياسة شيء لا يجب أن يقوم به المسلم، لكن كل رجل كل إنسان سياسي، حتى نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم هو كان رجلا سياسيا، رجلا دينيا ورجلا سياسيا. لا بد للمسلمين أن يقومون بالحركات السياسية خصوصا في بلاد أوروبا. حتى لو ذهب إلى شمال نيجيريا ترون كثيرا من المسلمين، حتى في مجلس النواب كثيرون من السياسيين هناك تراهم مع الحمام، لكن في بلاد يوروبا يجب أن يقومون المسلمين أن يدخلون في ميدان السياسي إن شاء الله.
Thanks a lot to our eminent Ustaz Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar, Hafizahullah wa Ra'ah. May Almighty Allah in His infinite mercy crown his efforts and elongate his life with good health. Fún àǹfààní àwọn tí wọ́n ń bẹ lé, àwọn bá ṣàlàyé púpọ̀ fún wa nípa tí ò jẹ́ káwọn mùsùlùmí ní tẹ̀síwájú. Ìpè ká gbìyànjú káwa náà ó mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀sìn wa. Ká sì má fà sẹ́yìn nípa ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú, gbogbo wa náà lájọ ń ṣe. Ìgbà Ànábì wa Muhammad tí gbogbo wa ń tẹ̀lé olóṣèlú ni, kò sì jẹ́lú, ó tún lù ṣe ni. Káwa náà jọ á fẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ yín sà tí ó máa jẹ́ advice yẹn nasiha fún gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ mùsùlùmí tí wọ́n ń wò yín dédé àsìkò yìí, tí ó máa jẹ́ general pàápàá jùlọ fún ìlú wa táwa ìlú Nàìjíríà.
Advice náà ni pé kábẹ̀rù náà wala afdal min dhalika dhikra wala afdal min dhalika nasiha. Tábà ti bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run.
Nous remercions très respectueusement notre Fadila Cheikh Abdul Ghaffar qui est avec nous ici à Lagos au Nigeria. Il est aussi présent pour la conférence Muhammadu Rosulullah. Ici, nous prions à Dieu d'être avec lui et sa famille. Inch'Allah, ça doit fún gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ jàmá Muhammadu Rasulullah àti gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n gbéṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run dó ní dàwíyà àwọn tàwásù ìṣìmáyí gẹ́gẹ́ bí tiwa yìí náà Yayi TV tí ó sí hádàbù kankan tá a gbé dání ju service to Islam and humanity. Ẹ ṣàdúrà fún wa lápapọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀.
Òun tá à ń ṣe yìí nù yálà àpéyànjọ àbá ń ṣe lórí wákìrùn tàwásù ìṣìmáyí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ àfi ìpolówó ẹ̀sìn àṣàfihàn ìpolówó ẹ̀sìn tí ọba tó ní ẹ̀sìn àṣàwálẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ fa ilẹ̀ àmàlà ilẹ̀ àmàlà ṣe
Bàbá ẹyọ kí ni orúkọ yín?
Orúkọ tèmi ni Chief Imam Abdul Bari Saheed Saba, ìyẹn ṣe aṣojú fún the Grand Chief Imam of Lagos State, in person of His Eminence Fadilatu Sheikh Muhammad Sulaiman Olúwatóyìn Abunala.
Adúpẹ́ ní ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Bàbá wa kí ni ìdí pàtàkì gan tí ó gbé yín dé àyè tí a wà yìí?
Ìfẹ́ ànábì wa Muhammad ló gbọ́ adébí tó gbà ànábì ó tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ẹni tọ́lọ́wọ́n ọba tó ṣàlẹ́ṣà látọwọ́ ara rẹ̀ ni tó ṣàpọ́nlé ẹ̀ látọwọ́ ara rẹ̀ tí kì í ṣàpọ́nlé ẹ̀dá kan ìdí ànábì pàtàkì tó bá adébí náà ó ní títóbi ànábì wa Muhammad.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Bàbá wa ẹni ìmáàmù ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ̀ ń sọ Lárúbáwá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ̀ ń sọ èdè òyìnbó. Irú ìgbìyànjú wo òun ló gbé yín lérò kò tí ẹ wà yìí?
Ìgbìyànjú náà ni pé ànábì wa Muhammad ó ní kí á wá ẹ̀kọ́ wàláwọ́ ká náà fi sí ìlú bó ṣàkójẹ́ ìlú China lọ́dún náà. Ànábì wa Muhammad sàṣẹ́lá nínú tó fi kọ́ wa òun náà ní ká lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ táyé àti tàlùkìyàmà, òun náà ní ìgbìyànjú tá a ṣe sí àfihàn ìgbàlẹ̀.
Bàbá ìgbìyànjú wo la fẹ́ gba àwa tí à ń jẹ́ ọ̀dọ́ nìsín tí àwa náà ń rọkàn irú òkò báyìí, ìgbìyànjú wo lẹ fẹ́ fún wa?
Òun náà ní pé káwọn pàápàá wa mùsùlùmí láàrin àwùjọ nínú ẹ̀kọ́ western education à ń lọ sẹ́yìn, ká kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ká kọ́ wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó dá bá wọ́n bí àwọn ọmọ jàǹdùkú tó gbọ́ orúkọ ọmọ mùsùlùmí láàmà bá ń bẹ̀. À ń fa àwọn ọmọ wa lẹ̀ jù àkọ́ wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ká kọ́ wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tayé àti tàlùkìyámọ̀. Òun náà ni àwa náà fi lè nísìnyí, òun làwọn ọmọ wa náà fi lè jèrè ayé wọn tó fi lè ráyé pé wọ́n sì bá Ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́.
Adúpẹ́ ní ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Bàbá ẹ wá ṣàdúrà fún àwọn ìjọ Muhammadu Rasulullah àti iléeṣẹ́ wa Yayi TV.
Yayi TV Ọlọ́run ọba jọ kò ní kẹ́rin lẹ́ o, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àmọ́ ọjọ́ wájú o, Ọlọ́run ọba jọ iléeṣẹ́ náà lọ́run ìjọ jóná. Ìjọ Muhammadu Rasulullah Ọlọ́run kún wọn láìfẹ́ ànábì, Ọlọ́run ọba jọ lọ́nà má jọ parẹ́, Ọlọ́run ọba jọ ẹ má ṣe wọn lówù ṣùkùṣù dá wáíwáí, Ọlọ́run ọba jọ máa gbé wọn gbà àlékún gbígbà wọ́n rà fáná مكانا عليا سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ìlú màkà ní ṣùgbọ́n tí ó lè lọ́lá jù káwọn aráalé tún wò dáadáa pé ṣáwọn ní àbáwọn kọ́ kẹ dárúkọ yìí fún gbogbo ara lẹ́sà.
Orúkọ mi ni Muhammadu challenge onílẹ̀ ìgbàlẹ̀ tí gbogbo ayé fẹ́ràn láti máa pè ní Àríre Mákọ̀.
Bàbá Àríre Mákọ̀ tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ tí wọ́n jẹ́ one of the best actor ní Nàìjíríà bí ká ṣe pé ní world. We are so happy to meet you here. We love to know your reason for being here and what is happening here.
Alright, the fact I am a Muslim and gbogbo orí tí ẹ bá ti rí pé wọ́n ṣe ìgbélárugẹ ẹ̀sìn Islam inú mi máa ń dùn láti àwọn ọmọ so àti mi gbọ́ títí program in fact mo láti set aside a lot of things so that mo lè wà present níbẹ̀ torí pé ara ìsìndọ̀hún náà ní pé kàgbọ́ ibi tí wọ́n bá ti ń péjọ ní títí ọ̀rọ̀ náà kí ìwọ̀n so ìgbà tí méje tó wá dé bíbá ilé mi fún àtijọ́ yìí tó wá jẹ́ ìjọ tí inú mi dùn sí púpọ̀ jù because mo rí oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó yàtọ̀ sí usual thing àti máa ń rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn èèyàn wa ṣe máa ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn mo rí pé alákọ̀wé làwọn wọ́n dẹ̀ tún jẹ́ ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ náà wọ́n tún mú ẹ̀sìn lókùnkúndùn so irú àwùjọ báyìí èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ máa mí ìsinmi.
Ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ipò tí iṣẹ́ tẹ̀yìn ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí òṣèré orí ìtàgé kí ni ọ̀nà tẹ̀yìn ti gbà gẹ́gẹ́ bí mùsùlùmí láti gbé ẹ̀sìn yín lárugẹ.
Ọ̀pọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ pé mo sọ fún yín pé ìdí tí mo fi dé bíbá yìí ní pé torí pé mo ní pé ìpéjọ nípa títí Elédùmarè gbogbo ayẹyẹ àlá ó jẹ́ tó wá jẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n fi pèrí ànábì Rosulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí mùsùlùmí tí inú mi ń dùn pé Ọlọ́run náà mi sórí ojú ọ̀nà Islam gbogbo nǹkan tí Ọlọ́run bá yọ̀ǹda gbogbo ààyè tọ́lọ́run bá fi ilẹ̀ fún mi èmi náà máa fi ń polongo máa fi ń ṣe ìṣìkáyà fún àwọn èèyàn pé ẹ má jẹ́ àná Ọlọ́run tó dá wa ó ní àṣẹ wọn ní ó ní àwọn àṣẹ wọn nílé bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé bóyá Ọlọ́run jẹ́ pé àwọn ìyọ̀ǹda kí ó pọ̀ òun àti ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ assignment Ọlọ́run àti pàpàrí ìlànà.
Ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí òṣèré orí ìtàgé ṣé mélòó nínú fíìmù gan lẹ́yìn gan ti kópa mẹ́ àti pé mélòó gan lẹ́yìn gan fúnra yín ti fọwọ́ ara yín kọ́ tó produce jáde.
Alhamdulillah ni wọ́n kọ́ sí lọ́sọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n ní sọ́wọ́n àkàrà ìlú ní ọjọ́ máa bàjẹ́ ìdí ọpẹ́ mi ni pé kì í ṣe ti gbéraga mi ò ní òǹkà iye sinimá títí bá wọn kópa nínú ṣùgbọ́n nípa títí tèmi kí n máa gé púpọ̀ ìfìyà máa bò fún ọ̀rẹ́sìn ti ṣe fún ìkókó mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún 15 tó jẹ́ pé ti kò kọ́ ara tèmi wípé mi ò ní nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí pé ká máa ṣe fíìmù ṣe ká máa fi làpá ìgbé mi kalẹ̀ ká bá ṣe kàn ká máa ṣe lẹ́yìn ìgbà
ẹ máa dárúkọ náà wọ́n lè ṣe.
lára àwọn fíìmù ti tèmi tí wọ́n ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ wà tó jẹ́ pé àpò ní àìmọ̀ ìyẹn ní recent one tí mo ṣe unknown ó wà lórí YouTube and previously mo ti ṣe ẹlẹ́rẹ̀gbẹ̀ mo ṣe ọmọ kan mo ṣe ọba adébọ̀rọ̀ mo ṣe eré ń wá mi ní tèmi mo ṣe bó ṣe lọ ló ṣe bọ̀ mo ṣe orí ọmọ ló kọ́ ọmọ yọ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
ṣeun sá kí ni advice tí ẹ lè fún gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń wò yìí ní tí wọ́n irú nǹkan báyìí tẹ̀ ń ṣe tó ń wọ àwọn náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí láti máa ṣe fíìmù tó ṣe gbé ẹ̀rù ń bà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àmọ́ àbí àwọn kan lé bẹ́ẹ̀lì ẹ̀yìn tẹ̀ ń ṣe eré orí ìtàgé gbé ìṣekúṣe ni so advice wo ẹ lè fún gbogbo orú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tó wù bẹ́ẹ̀ láti mọ kópa bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àkọ́kọ́ mi máa ń jẹ́ pé kí máa pàdé mi kó máa sọ fún mi pé àwọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí láti ṣe iṣẹ́ wọn ohun tí máa kọ́kọ́ sọ fún wọn ní pé ẹ kọ́kọ́ lọ mú Ọlọ́run lókùnkùn bí ìkòrí pé lẹ́yìn Ọlọ́run kò sẹ́ni tó ń sọ̀yàn di nǹkan àfọlọ́run ẹni tọ́lọ́run bá yàn Ọlọ́run bá gbọ́ ẹni tọ́lọ́run bá gbàdúrà ìmú láyé máa rí tó máa mọ̀ pé àti máa gbà tó máa di gbajúmọ̀ so ẹni tó bá wá ṣiṣẹ́ wáyé tí yóò wá lọ́lọ́run màá tún advice wọn padà lọ́lé kọ́kọ́ lọ di òpó Ọlọ́run wọ́n dẹ̀ wá fi tọkàntọkàn àti taratara kó máa fi wá ṣe iṣẹ́ náà wọ́n wá fi gbogbo ìsọ̀wọ́ lọ torí pé tẹ́dà bá sọ fún ẹ kí yẹn mo máa sọ ẹ́ di gbá mo máa sọ ẹ́ dà wẹ́wẹ́ ìdá náà ṣé ẹ̀dá náà ló ga jù láyé ni àbí ṣóun ni wọ́n mọ̀ jù lágbàáyé nínú ọ̀sán ọ̀sán tó jẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run nìkan náà ló ń la ẹ̀yìn Ọlọ́run nìkan náà ló ń fa ẹ̀yìn wọn nídìí iṣẹ́kíṣẹ́ tí oníkálukú bá là èmi máa ń jẹ́ pé wọ́n pé ẹni tó bá fẹ́ iṣẹ́ wa ó dáa ó rọrùn tó bá rí ìní kọ̀ọ̀kan máa ń jẹ́ láti ṣe ètò ìtàmì ṣùgbọ́n èyí tó ṣe pàtàkì jùlọ ni pé má ju òpó ọlọ́run sílẹ̀ torí pé ọlọ́run ọba tó ń láyé ọlọ́run nìkan ọba tó jẹ́ níjẹ́ kéèyàn ṣàṣeyọrí.
ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí iṣẹ́ tí àwa gbé dání tá à ń jẹ́ mídíà tó a jẹ́ Yayi TV láti promote Islam and humanity as a whole ọ̀nà wọn náà lè rí pé àwa náà lè fi promote fún iṣẹ́ tẹ̀ ń ṣe.
well àkọ́kọ́ irú bá ṣe máa ń pàdé lóde báyìí àmọ́ pé tábà ti fi ọ̀rọ̀ tó rẹwà lẹ́nu tábà ti hẹ́ ẹ̀ lórí tv ní àwọn èèyàn máa rí ṣùgbọ́n ìmọ̀ràn tèmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìbéèrè yìí ni pé mi máa gbà yín nímọ̀ràn pé tó bá rọrùn fún yín ẹ̀yin náà lè máa put up àwọn programs yẹ pé bóyá ó máa ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sìn Islam àbí ó máa ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú pé bóyá iṣẹ́ táwa ń ṣe tí ẹ lè fi ṣe bí reach out sí àwọn èèyàn nípa ẹ̀sìn wa náà kí wọ́n ṣe mọ̀ pé ní ayé ìsìn ẹ̀rọ ayélujára òun ni gbogbo ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn náà tẹra mọ́ jù which tẹ́lẹ̀ kojú ọ̀nà ti lè wọ́n nìyẹn so tẹ́ bá wù pé òkè àpapọ̀ ní pé èèyàn wá sí event àbí èèyàn bá ń put up àwọn oríṣiríṣi nǹkan bóyá bí seminar bóyá bí talk event fún ìlànà Islam ẹ̀rọ Islam tó bá yẹ pé bóyá ní àgbègbè ṣe sọ báyìí bóyá ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ wà pẹ̀lú yín náà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ aṣáwó àkọ́kọ́ ní pé kó máa promulgate ẹ̀sìn Islam náà kò sí ìkọ̀kọ́ tó bá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀ sá ẹ ṣàdúrà fún àwọn tí wọ́n pè yín síbi àti iléeṣẹ́ Yayi TV.
well àkọ́kọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n pè wá síbi Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè tí wọ́n ràn wọ́n ṣe tí wọ́n fi lè máa ṣe débi pé gaba ìkọlọ̀ Elédùmarè kó má padà lẹ́yìn kó má da ètò wọn kó má da àárín wọn Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè náà ló ń fi iṣẹ́ ìlú fún sí Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè kó bá mi bá wọn láì kó bá mi san wọ́n lẹ́san dáadáa. Yayi TV náà ẹ̀yìn náà torí pé láti bí ìjọ òun gẹ́gẹ́ bí oní tíátà Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè ló ń ṣe kó dára Ọlọ́run máa fi ṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ ní ìgbà bá ṣe ń lọ bá ṣe ń lọ lágbára Ọlọ́run Yayi TV á gbòòrò ju sí ẹni ẹ̀yìn náà lágbára Ọlọ́run.
Thank you. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please, can you tell us your name?
My name is Kabira Kapidipe. That's my name.
Okay, thank you very much. Where are we right now and what is happening in this place?
We're at Oriental Hotel and we're having the Muhammadu Rosulullah International Conference. Okay.
Can we know your profession?
Yes, I'm an actress, I'm a motivator. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We know it's very rare to see a woman, an Islamic, let's say Muslim woman, to be in this type of gathering. Most don't know the value of attending this kind of program. What advice would you give them, or what can you tell us about this event?
Yes, I mean, it promotes the religion, and of course, if you try to defend and try to let your religion be the form of guide, it definitely will not be led astray, and then it be the form of, like I said, guidance for us. So it's really nice for us to emulate, the idea of following the doctrines of the religion and the footsteps of the Prophet Muhammad so that it can guide us through our daily activities in life.
Merci beaucoup, chers frères et sœurs en islam. Nous sommes avec lui les activités. Non, elle tourne les films au Nigeria. Elle s'appelle Adia Kabira. Et nous sommes actuellement à Oriental. Et elle est ici. Nous sommes très contents d'être ici. Qu'Allah vous bénisse. Monsieur Amen.
Amen. You mentioned my name, so I said we.
Yeah. As an actress, what's your contribution towards Islam? What has been your contribution to your profession as a motivator, as an actress towards Islam?
Yes, I mean, it's what it is. I'm proud of my religion. I promote it everywhere I go. Yeah. Every opportunity I have, I try to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Jazakallah كل الخير. نشكر أختنا.
Amen وإياكم.
MashaAllah. What can you tell us about the host?
Oh wow. It's a great leader. I think it's one of the greatest motivator I've met. Very, the man for everyone. ready to listen to anybody that comes his way and almost find a solution to anything.
Thank you.
That's good to him.
What message?
By the weight of Allah.
Thank you very much. What message do you have for your fans on the?
Oh yeah. Well, that I love them. They should keep being who they are. I'll keep being me, and I hope I don't get disappoint them. They should be hidden a lot, and I wish them all the best in the end of it.
Actually, we'd love to know how many films you featured, and how many you produced yourself.
Oh, well, I've produced about 4 films, and I've featured in about, it's not even up to 50, 30, or about.
Because there's a film we watched about you. I think that's what brought you into limelight. I don't really know the name, but
that's
something like
my main film production. That's that's the second project I produced. That's you're talking of Iwalewa.
Producer?
Yeah.
That's very good.
Myself and my sister.
So pray for this organization and Yaiti.
May be Almighty Allah reward you for your efforts, and I pray that it blesses us with all the goodness as well, and grant us the goodness of.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
ونرحب بحضوركم في هذا المؤتمر العالمي. جزاكم الله كل الخير. ما اسمكم الكريم؟
Imam Abdurrahman Muhammad al-Awwal.
Imam Abdurrahman Muhammad al-Awwal. Please, can you tell us where we are presently and what is happening here?
We are at the Oriental hotels in VI at the instance of Muhammadu Rosulullah Global Family International Conference.
Okay, sir. Presently, we notice that in the world the Muslims are not progressing. المسلمون هذا العصر يتأخرون وغير المسلمين يتقدمون. What is the problem and what is the solution to this?
Alhamdulillah, the problem we have is like what we are trying to address here at this conference, talking about the contemporary issues in the world right now, where the Muslims are not united, purposely to face what are the problems that we are having. Rather, we are chasing shadows of what does not concern us, and rather what disunited us is what we will try to give credence to, rather than what unites us.
Inshallah.
So that's the issue, I think, where someone is trying to decimate us in the sense of someone is this, someone is that, someone is this, someone is that, which some people try to understand based on religion, but to me it's not religion, but rather political or economic. So that's one of the major problems that I see that has been disuniting the Muslims and lagging us behind, rather making us to forge ahead and to be progressive, like you said, of other sectors of religion on the face of the earth.
What's the solution?
Well, the solution is just for us to understand the tenets and the message of Islam. You know, what we have been able to discuss is that some are just looking at the literary translation of the Quran rather than going through the concept and the message of the Quran and even Hadith. And you know, the source of Sharia is Quran, Sunnah, and Ijma, the consensus of the ulama, and the Qiyas, the analogical reasoning. That analogical reasoning is what we tend not to be able to put into practice. Because like Dr. Timei said that my right is my right, while those who are facing me, their right is my left. And while I'm trying to force my right on for those whom that are facing me, it means that I'm trying to let them take their left as their right. And for me to accept theirs is, you know, making my left to be my right. So if each and every one of us could be able to see things diagonally, not horizontally, I think we'll be able to move forward more than where we are.
Thank you very much. Nous remercions très respectueusement notre très cher qui est devant nous, chers frères et sœurs en islam. نعم من فضيلتكم نطلب أو نرجو أو نتمنى من فضيلتكم أن تبين لنا يعني المشاهدين شخصية الرسول بالعوجز وأخلاقه.
محمد رسول الله والذين معه أشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم تراهم ركعا سجدا يبتغون فضلا من الله. وقال الله تعالى أيضا في آخر آية سورة التوبة لقد جاءكم الرسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما أنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. وقال أيضا وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين. وهذا خلق وخلق رسول الله صلى الله عليه
وسلم. أنتم بليغ جدا جزاكم الله كل الخير. ونريد أيضا الدعاء
اللهم بارك لجمعية الهدى ومحمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
آمين يا الله.
والعلامات ياي أن تبارك الله لكم
آمين يا الله.
وأن تقدمكم في خدمتكم للإسلام. الفاتحة.
جزاكم الله كل خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أيها المشاهدون الكرام، نحن هنا في لاغوس لمؤتمر عالمي، ومعنا شيخ جليل الذي هو سيذكر اسمه بكل تفضل والاحترام. What's your name, sir?
My name is Al-Hajj Abdul Muhammad Bashir.
Hayakum Allah. Sheikh, actually what is happening here, and where are we and what is happening here?
We are at the Oriental International Hotel in Lagos, Beehive, precisely. We are gathered here today for a conference, international conference organized by Muhammadu Rasulullah Group family. And it has been a good and very interesting day so far.
What can you tell us about Islam in our own time right now? Fi hadha al-asr, we can observe that most of the Muslims are moving backward or going backward. There's no taqaddum, no progress. So, mumkin fi siyasa, in politics, or diniya, in the religion, and all other aspects, we find out that those that are not Muslims are the ones moving. What is the problem? What is the cause? And what is the solution?
Alhamdulillah, that's a very good question, a big one. Let me just answer it with this relation, or let me illustrate it with a story. I was once asked to deliver a lecture about Islam today, yesterday, and tomorrow, and I just summed it under 5 minutes with a story. And this is the story. There was an ustaz going somewhere with one of his students, and when they got to one place, they saw someone, they tied the lady down, tied her down. I think maybe jinn entered her. They were trying to do some ruqya, doing some things to save her, but it's getting harder and harder. So the shaykh after them, release the lady, let her come. When they come, the ustaz now recite one ayah of the Quran. I cannot remember the ayah immediately now, but said the ayah was relating that if it is from Allah, you have to pray Allah to save you. But it is from human beings or any other creation of the Almighty Allah, you this jinn come out immediately. And the jinn came out and the lady was released. Then about 2 years later, the ustaz died. So the same place, the student was now passing by, and the same woman was again infected with the jinn. So the student was now trying to do as the ustaz did. Say, if you are from Allah, la ba'as. But he is kind of making the girl Allah, fakhruj, la az jinn. But the lady just strike him, slapping him, and like 4 tooths removed. And the lesson was that Al-Haya, now said, the jinn was now saying from the inside the lady, said, Al-Haya, Al-Haya. The ayah that your master recited was the same ayah we recited. But Al-Rajul Gairu Rajul. That's the man is not the man of today. Islam is still the same from yesterday to now, but the Muslim of yesterday are not the Muslim of today.
What is the solution, sir?
The solution is that we have to go back to the pristine Islam. We have to be sincere with the Almighty Allah. We have to check ourselves. Everybody knows what is wrong with you. Whether we want to do some excuse or one or another, we know what is wrong with us. We need unity in Islam. That is the major one. We need unity in Islam. With unity, we can't fight Islam from the outside. في الحديث القدسي صلى الله عليه وسلم said Allah ilaha illallah isni amman da ala hisni amina min al-qawl. La ilaha illallah is my fortress. Whoever enters my fortress will be saved from my anger or my punishment. So if Allah will save you inside, then if you are united inside, nobody dare to show you or conquer you from outside. So we have to be unified. We need unity. We need compassion and loyalty among ourselves. Thank you very much.
نعم حياكم الله وبياكم أستاذنا الفاضل. نحن نريد منكم البيان عن الطريقة التيجانية الصوفي التصوف أولا والطريقة التيجانية، لأن يبدو أنكم من التيجانيين.
أنا تيجاني.
نحن نريد مفهوم هذه الطريقة والصوفية.
قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله, and that is the basis of the tasawwuf. Knowing and believing. Al-iman شيء والعلم شيء. الإيمان يمكن أن يدخل الريب والشك لأنه إيمان بالغيب لأن راح وتعالى علم باليقين. فتقول للرسول بعد أن قد علمنا الرسول أن نقول الله إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله، قال الله تعالى له فاعلم أنه العلم بأن الله واحد في وجوديته. هذا أساس التصوف الأول. وأساس التصوف الثانية من الحديث هو الحديث